years, but still important that we recognize our seniors for their contributions to the athletic department, their senior class, and so we're going to move on from here. First, we're going to start this evening with the dance team, starting with Madison Long. Madison is escorted this evening by Jonathan and Leanne Long and Macy Long. Madison's plans are to attend the University of South Carolina or East Carolina University. We'll be majoring in chemistry. She would like to thank her family and friends for showing her so much support throughout all of her endeavors. So let's give a nice round of applause to Madison Long. Okay, now we have Maisie Morse. Maisie escorted by her parents, David and Heather Morse. Okay, Maisie would like to say thank you to all her support along the way. She wouldn't be where she is today without everybody. Special shout out to her family, dance friends, teachers, coaches, for always being there for her. It's always been a great experience, and she can't wait to see what the future holds. Maisie's plans will be to attend the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, or North Carolina State University to pursue a degree in education or business administration. She leaves with us some advice for some younger girls. I wish she could say a lot more, but more importantly, soak it all in and enjoy every single moment. Because in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Macy Morse. Isley Sharp is not with us tonight, but she did leave words for us. So, although Isley could not attend tonight, she does have some goals and future plans she wants, after graduating, that she wants to share with us. Isley will be attending a 4-year university where she plans on continuing her dance career with the college team. Isley will major in exercise science to accomplish her dream of becoming a chiropractor. Throughout her years at West Brunswick, Isley got the most amazing experience to teach and dance with our special education students. This has inspired her to open her own dance studio for exceptional students to freely express themselves in a different and healthy way. She wants to thank her family for the endless love and support, as well as Ms. Pittman and all the amazing teachers and coaches she's had at West Brunswick. Thank you all. Okay, now we move on to women's basketball. Our first senior this evening, Anaya Metz. Escorted this evening by Janelle and Allison Metz. Anaya plans to attend an HBCU, that's the Historical Black College or University, to major in biology. She leaves these words for us and her parents. To my mom and dad, it's hard to put into words how much you guys have done for me. Thank you for all the love and support and for being my biggest supporter as I've progressed over the years. You taught me what it means to never give up and to remember to always be a leader. I would like to thank each and every one of the coaches that have coached me throughout the past 4 years. Thank you for inspiring me to be the best that I can be and making basketball fun. It's so amazing working with all my teammates and to be a part of a program that was much bigger than myself and was focused on supporting and loving each other. It made me better and stronger, and we created a family. As I move on to the next chapter of my life, I will forever cherish the special memories created here at West. Once a Trojan, always a Trojan. Next we have Delia Stanley. Michelle and Joseph Stanley, her folks. Delia's college plans are undecided at present. She would like to major in cosmetology and entrepreneur business. So she thank her mom and dad for all their support and everything else. That's Delia Stanley. Okay, for all of our seniors tonight, let's give it up for them one time.
And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the ATMC High School Basketball Games of the Week. A double dip for you tonight. The visitors from Ashley High School, the Screaming Eagles, against the West Brunswick Trojans. The ladies will play first. Ashley comes into tonight's game with a 6-1 record, winners of 3 in a row. These two teams have played earlier this season, and Ashley won that game by a score of 68-34. Ashley brings the ball in to start the action here tonight. And right away, the Screaming Eagles get on the board as Lexi Hinson nails a 15-foot jump shot. West back down the other way quickly, and a good pass inside to number 15, Anaya Metz. And they've knotted the game at 2. You'll get to see this evening, folks, one of the maybe the best girls high school basketball player in the world, right? And number 22, Sanaya Rivers, who shoots the fall-away jump shot there and scores. Rivers averaging 35 points a game, 12 rebounds per contest, 5.4 assists. She is the 2-time reigning Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of North Carolina, and she has committed to the University of South Carolina to continue her basketball and education. And looks like we've got a call inside. Ball's going to remain with West. The Trojans off to an 0-2 start. Their most recent game was last Friday. They lost to Laney 51-34. Tuesday's game was postponed due to COVID. So the Trojans looking to get back on the winning side of the ledger here tonight. That's Rivers bringing the ball up court. She is a versatile player, can play anywhere on the court. Shot missed, good board that time by number 12, Delia Stanley. Stanley, one of 2 seniors on the West team who were honored before the game this evening. Still a relatively young squad for Coach Andrian Bannerman. 4-2 early, and there is Rivers with a steal. And a graceful layup and a 2-point shot by Sanaya Rivers gives Ashley a 6-2 lead. Roughing it up inside. Shot long by number 4, Morgan Bellamy, a sophomore. Good hustle by West Brunswick inside. Let's see who that is. Morgan Bellamy helping 21. Tootie Hill off the deck. So ball will remain with West. 5:45 to go here in the opening quarter. Ashley versus West Brunswick. Ashley with a 6-2 lead. Rivers with 4, Hinson with 2. Anaya Metz has the only basket of the game for West Brunswick. So we're getting the clock situated here and getting all the lights on, and we'll resume play. Gracie Elmore with the ball. Elmore, a real good outside shooter. 21 is Hill. A lot of experience. Shot from the outside. Misses, and look at Rivers. 12 boards a game and a big step, and wow. And one for the magnificent Sanaya Rivers. This kid is the real deal, folks. We've been watching her now for 4 years, a 4-year varsity player. She started at Laney, transferred after the first 2 years over to Ashley. Hits her free throw. She's got 7, and Ashley jumps into the press. And West Brunswick's ability to handle the press and to handle the basketball, turnovers have been a big source of concern for the Trojans this year. Tonight, point of emphasis for them to try to do as good as they can, hanging on to the ball and getting as many good shots and possessions as possible. They got a chance here. Ball knocked away from sophomore Morgan Bellamy, but West will retain possession. 5:45 to go, first quarter action. 9-2, Ashley. And that's going to be a walk. Gracie Elmore just got a little bit too much of a hurry that time. And she gets called for the travel. Still having some clock issues that we're trying to get settled out. Because I think I said 5:45 remaining, and that was a couple of minutes ago, I think. Gives an opportunity into the game. A really nice freshman player for West Brunswick. Number 5, Haley Woodard, will replace Elmore. Woodard, only a couple of games here in her varsity career, but she's already averaging 7 points a game. Going to be a real nice player for West Brunswick during her career. These two teams played before. Ashley won 68-34. Rivers had a triple-double, 21, 13, and 10. Wow. Put a big star by that pass as Lauren Craig receives a great assist from Sanaya Rivers. Rivers with another steal and just goes in for the left-handed layup and another and one opportunity for the very gifted young lady Sanaya Rivers. So you got to hang in here with us tonight, folks, because our buddy Sam Hickman will be here shortly. And Sam will be handling all the play-by-play action. Good rebound that time for West, number 21, Tootie Hill, and she picks up a foul in the process. So Ashley 13, West Brunswick 2, 5:04 to go. Quarter number 1, and guess who's here? Who's in the house?
You know, I should have showed up late for every game we've ever done because I always get this awesome in-game intro from my trusted color analyst. Look at that length of the floor pass and one foul by Yazzie Stanley. Basket by number 5, Kiana Stewart. And, Jay, I was here all of 12 seconds, and Sanaya Rivers has a length of the court outlet pass that leads to a layup and a foul.
Well, that's at least her third tremendous assist here this evening, Sam, and she's probably had another one that I just missed. And listen, we've had the pleasure of seeing her play now for 4 years, as I was telling our fans at home, and this kid, it's hard to believe she got better since she was a freshman, but she did, and she will. And, of course, Dawn Staley, so lucky and happy and fortunate, I think, to have her joining the South Carolina Gamecocks starting this fall, where Sanaya will move to the SEC.
4:48 left in the opening frame. The visiting Ashley Screaming Eagles 15, West Brunswick 2. And, Jay, Ashley comes into the game with a 6-1 record on a 3-game winning streak, but for the first time in Sanaya Rivers' Mid-Eastern Conference basketball career, one of her teams has lost a conference game.
Yeah, and it happened early on.
Excuse me, during her time at Ashley.
At Ashley, yeah, it happened early on this year already against Hoggard. Hoggard must be flat out good. I saw in the rankings this week, I think the Hoggard was 11, and I think Ashley was 15. That was I would think an upset by some folks' standards. Not to take anything away from Hoggard at all. Really good team, well coached by Boubacar All.
Morgan Bellamy off the mark on the mid-range jump shot. Jay, how about you recap your play-by-play partner here for the first 3.5 minutes of this one? All Screaming Eagles?
2, 4, 6, 8, 9 for Rivers. She did miss a free throw, so she is human. 76% from the stripe during the season, Sam. But, yeah, pretty much all Rivers. I'll tell you what, West has been banging around with them pretty good, but kind of hard when you got a kid the talent of this one.
Oh, that's a step back 1-footer from the baseline off the mark, but Ashley there for the rebound, but Lauren Craig, it was number 10, Tiara David, whistled for a push in the back offensive foul, so the Trojans will gain possession. Morgan Bellamy Haley Woodard, Tootie Hill, Yazzie Stanley, and Anaya Metz on the floor for West. Nearly a steal. Woodard came up with it, tried to fire it in, but Craig came up with a steal for the Screaming Eagles. And welcome to the league, Haley Woodard. You have to stop Rivers in transition. And Rivers keenly finds Kiana Stewart for a driving layup, and Ashley leads 17-2.
Yeah, Sam, the thing that impressed me about Sanaya Rivers, and this was 4 years ago, was not her shooting, not her rebounding, but her ability to throw the ball, to see the court, to find a very unselfish player. And you saw it again there. I really think, look, she came into tonight's game off a victory earlier this week over New Hanover. Ashley won 68-33, and Rivers had 43 points. So I'm convinced that if she wanted to get 100, she could get 100.
Yeah.
She'll never do that because that's just not in her DNA. It's not the way she plays ball. But, wow, there's only 32 minutes in the game.
Right.
She had 43. That's amazing.
That's averaging more than a point per minute.
Yeah.
Fancy that, math majors.
I think my career, maybe 43 if you added them all up. I don't know.
I scored 36 one day, and then my dad took the PlayStation away. But the only time I could hit those numbers. Jay, look at her season averages.
Yeah.
She's averaging
35
points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and we don't even know the steals and the blocks, but I'm sure those are in the multiples as well.
Yeah, she's just a listen, we got a little bit of time tonight to discuss this. You were always asking me questions. I have a question for you tonight.
Shoot.
Simply this. Is she the best high school basketball player to ever come out of the city of Wilmington?
You didn't say girls.
I didn't.
So
You're right. I did not.
let me answer it this way.
Okay.
Sanaya Rivers better in high school than Michael Jordan was.
I said coming out of high school.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I think so. I think you can make a very compelling case that she is the GOAT, right? She's the greatest of all time, not Michael.
Now, Jay, if Sanaya accomplishes in her college and professional career what
Wow.
I mean, look at her. She just glides around the court. She is really something.
I'm losing all of my broadcasting objectivity if I have any. She is that good. So silky smooth.
Yeah. Haley Woodard with the steal.
How about
Trojans
that?
down by 17. Good pass in. Good entry, but Aaliyah Ward could not corral the entry pass, and then Amani Vault fouls Sanaya Rivers. So it'll be Ashley basketball with the Screaming Eagles leading by 17. Jay, Rivers is excellent. Head coach Adrian Gill also does a fine job with this team. Actually, girls are perennially a good team.
Well, and you know what else this team's got, Sam? It's so easy to talk about Sanaya.
Size.
But, well, they got some size, and they got 5 seniors that start.
Oh, yeah.
So you got some veteran players out there, and when you got one the caliber of Rivers, you're going to be pretty good.
And, Jay, this number 5, Kiana Stewart, the senior guard, only averaging 3 points per game this season, but she's got 3 buckets here in the first quarter alone.
Yeah, so, seniors are special. It's senior night here tonight at Weston.
Boy. Whoa, Jay, she still caught it. The ball was deflected. She just snared it out of the air. Oh, a good drive and fake by Stewart. Missed the shot.
I think
ball bounced around. Amani Vault came away with it.
I think Rivers got banged up on that play, Sam. I think she got banged up on that play.
Took one to the face?
Yeah, maybe. Mask is down.
Jay, I'll take a half-blind Sanaya Rivers over 99.9% of other high school basketball players.
Oh, golly. Good line. I understand completely.
Hope she's okay, though.
I do, too. And I hope the people that are watching, I bet they hope she is, too.
Yeah, they're like, get her back on the court, please.
This is like, once in a generation, maybe.
A good drive there by Haley Woodard. Just couldn't get the shot to fall. Oh, a good pass in. Stanley misses the shot, but a good-looking possession that time. Just got to get the shot to fall. Oh, Woodard steps in the passing lane, comes up with a deflection, Bellamy leading the break into Woodard. Foul.
Beautiful.
Shot doesn't go in, but a nice job leading the break by Morgan Bellamy. Going back a little, nice job forcing the steal by Woodard, getting it to the point guard, running the length of the court, and getting to the free throw line.
And Morgan Bellamy that time, only a 10th grader, does a real good job of distributing the ball to a freshman, Haley Woodard. Haley got fouled. She's going to go to the line and shoot a pair.
And Jay Woodard, when she was a middle school student at Cedar Grove, was one of the recipients of a Brunswick Electric scholarship. She went to basketball camp at NC State for either a weekend or 4 days. So what an experience that must have been for, I think, at the time she was a 6th grader.
Well,
to go practice in a arena and with college basketball, coaching, instruction.
Looks like she paid attention too, right?
At least during the free throw portion of the camp, as she knocks down both of those. I'm not sure they should have fallen for the pump fake 41 feet from the basket. Woodard, oh, man, if she'd have thrown it a half second earlier, she had Bellamy streaking past stolen Ashley basketball.
That's a nice play by Stewart that time for Ashley, getting back transitionally and intercepting the ball. Good dish inside.
Good pass from Craig to number 40, Bryn Little. Jay, all these names are so familiar from doing these Ashley games in years past. Bryn Little, Lauren Craig, Sanaya Rivers. Elmore telegraphed the pass. It was stolen by number 12, Mckenzie Morton, who lays it up and in for 2, and it's 25-4 in the first quarter.
So we run the extreme there. We talk about the Ashley seniors, and yet it's Mackenzie Morton, a freshman, who gets into the scoring column. Bang!
High off the glass from number 4, Morgan Bellamy.
Should have checked to see what the score was when Rivers went out, Sam, to see if the Trojans can kind of make this a little more of an even contest without Rivers on the court.
I think it was 21-4.
Okay, so it's 4-2.
Shot off the mark. Craig trying to chase down the offensive rebound. West Brunswick's Gracie Elmore knocks it out of bounds.
Lauren Craig, number 44 for Ashley, is a senior. Averages 5 boards a game and 3 points. She's a big kid. But I think we got some more clock problems, Sam.
It's not a running clock yet.
And let's hope it won't be, but listen, we were a little concerned. They had already done the national anthem and announced the starters, Yogi Hickman, PA announcer extraordinaire, and we still didn't have any referees.
Oh, that's a problem.
But they came out right in a nick of time, right?
I tell you, those officials.
Life is timing. Life is timing.
Anyone seen the feature story on Yogi Hickman in this week's special section of the Brunswick Beacon titled
What?
Active Seniors?
No.
Active Seniors. Yogi Hickman. Check it out.
I thought it was going to be Yogi Hickman's success despite his son.
I know, Brett. It's been dragging him down all these years.
That's a good one, Sam. You are on your game, pal. You are on your game tonight.
I've been waiting for this all week.
Isn't that the truth?
Jay, seriously, though, how much fun was it for you to be back in this chair last week in the West Laney, to do the West Laney varsity basketball games?
Well, fun enough that I even watched it.
Yeah.
Which I rarely do because I'm always so embarrassed by things. But it was fun. We talked about it during the contest last week, Sam, or both games, that the past 12 months almost have just been, golly, unprecedented. And to have a little degree of normalcy creep back into your life and my life and other folks who love high school sports, it certainly was a lot of fun. It's senior night here tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong. They did introduce prior to the game the senior dancers, I think, and also there's a couple of seniors on this very young West Brunswick team, and that would be Tootie Hill and Anaya Metz. And they came out with their folks, and that's always a special time. And, this year, because of COVID, not as special as normal, but they were honored before the game.
Yazzie Stanley?
Yazzie Stanley. What did I say? Oh, I said Hill. I'm sorry. Yazzie. Yeah.
And Metz. Stanley and Metz.
Stanley and Metz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had you.
Okay.
Look at there, Jay. 2.5 seconds left in the first quarter after a second COVID timeout. Actually, there were scoreboard issues, but we'll just call it a COVID break. Ashley trying to get a shot off. Fires it up. Side of the backboard. Karams out of bounds. And that will bring the opening 8 minutes of game action to a halt with the Ashley Screaming Eagles leading the host West Brunswick Trojans 25-6 right here on ATMC TV.
Well, give us a little bit more time to talk about Sanaya Rivers. The two-time state of North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, right? She's currently, and I don't know where the rankings come from, the ratings come from, number 3 overall and number 2 guard in the country.
In the country?
In the country.
In the country, like overall. She's the third best player in her whole class.
In the whole United States of America. She is on the 2021 watch list for the Girls National High School Player of the Year. And
boy, oh boy.
as we mentioned a little earlier, she broke my heart by going to South Carolina instead of Maryland. But Maryland was in the running, but South Carolina, that for women's sports, women's basketball for sure. Very, very special place, and holy manoli,
sure.
Are the Gamecocks getting a good one in Sanaya Rivers, and not that far away, Sam. That sounds like a road trip to me.
No, Columbia, right down the road.
That's a road trip.
Oh. Well, we're going to exchange turnovers to start the second quarter. West throws it away. Ashley reciprocates it, throws away a turnover of its own. So West will try again, take 2.
They lost when these two teams played the first game this year, 68-34. Nice looking shot by Elmore. She can shoot the rock.
Yep. Look at her go, Jay. Oh, pull up, pop. Nylon.
Unless you play ball, you don't understand how hard that is to do. To be going down the floor at a pace and then stop, control, go up, square up, and, of course, release the ball the way Rivers does.
And in Jay, too, it's a bona fide jumper.
Oh.
I mean, it's perfect release point, everything. Elmore with a nice take. Oh, couldn't get it to go. And look, one arm was above the rest.
That's
Rivers, one-handed bounce pass to number 12, Mckenzie Morton, who's got 4, a bucket in each quarter. And, Jay, you blink, and it's 29-6.
Yeah. Well, you knew it was going to be a tough one for the Trojans. We were hoping that they would at least be competitive and do a better job of hanging on to the basketball. There's a block by Rivers. Nice banging around inside.
Morgan Bellamy, not known for her offensive rebounding prowess, but she grabs one and puts it up and in. She leads all West Brunswick scorers with 4.
Well, and that's what you like. You like the competitiveness of the kids. And look, Bellamy is hanging on to
literally hanging on
to Rivers.
Oh, boy, Jay, that's what we call a mismatch in the business.
Well, in so many ways, yeah. Start with the senior to the sophomore, to the tall to the short. Gracie, not a bad shot.
Needed a little Elmore on that one.
Yeah. Needed just a little, maybe a fraction of a second she rushed the ball, but let's see what West can do on this possession, see if they can defend against oh, gosh, Sam.
Look at the look. Pass into number 40, Bryn Little.
Sam, Rivers does not need any agent, okay? But if I were going to be a rep, first thing I do is she would suddenly become Silk Rivers because she is so doggone smooth in every aspect of the game. She plays almost like a ballerina. I mean, she's so graceful and just tremendous.
Barishnikov.
Yeah, I can't say that big word, but
off the foot of Yazzie Stanley and out of bounds. Screaming Eagles men's team making a grand entrance. Mid-range jumper off the mark. Bryn Little snares the board. Oh, Morton from distance. No good. Rivers got the offensive rebound. She's going to bring it back out. Working on Elmore. Look at her. Jay, she is so good. Like, even when she misses, it's like the most beautiful thing I ever seen.
Yeah. That's my point about if she wanted to.
Little strong on back-to-back attempts, but 2 good looks at the basket.
Yeah, and she can beat you off the dribble, create, and make herself into give herself a good shot every time down. There you go. Nice.
Tootie Hill?
Yeah, Tootie. Atta girl. Don't quit.
So, Jay, West Brunswick's legendary PA announcer. 3-pointer rattled in by number 14, Annalise Sappho.
I remember her from last year.
Oh, it was a 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
West Brunswick's legendary PA announcer just leans over and says, I'd pay to watch her play.
That's a good Yogi line there.
In reference to Rivers. Oh, Elmore steps into a long one. Little short, right on line. Some subs coming into the game. Morgan Bellamy for Gracie Elmore and Aaliyah Ward for number 15, Anaya Metz. Jay, I believe the West Brunswick dancers and cheerleaders seniors were honored or will be honored tonight as well. I think dance team before the girls' game and the cheerleaders before the boys' game.
Terrific, yeah.
Whoa, attempted cross-court pass nearly went in, Jay. It hit the rim and kind of bounced under the goal. Oh, a good look in from Bellamy, but it was stolen by number 23, Lexi Henson, but then Henson traveled with it.
Yeah, it's a nice play that time by Henson. Henson getting back, but gets called for the travel, so the Trojans bring it in.
Stanley from deep off the backboard, no good, knocked out of bounds by Tootie Hill. 4:15 left in the second quarter.
Tell you what, Tootie Hill gets her hands on the ball quite a bit.
Sappho picked up her dribble, got it to Mckenzie Morton. Sappho again. This one no good. Rivers with the offensive board. She's going to drive. Shot up. Good. I believe she thinks she got fouled, but no whistle. But the putback good anyway. And Rivers has got 15 by my count, partner.
Yeah, Rivers, of course, kind of slender, really, right? I mean,
yeah.
But she don't mistake that for lack of strength. She's strong. Excellent conditioning. She just lopes up and down the court and just pretty much does whatever you want to be able to do as a high school basketball player.
Think we're going to have a COVID timeout, partner. 3:39 left before halftime. It's Ashley High School 34, West Brunswick 10, and Nia Metz will check back into the game for West Brunswick after the break. So, Jay, back to me asking you questions.
Sure.
Is the transition difficult? If so, how difficult for a player of Rivers' caliber up into this stage of her career and at least organized school ball, middle school, high school? She's clearly the best player on the court and by a significant margin. You get to South Carolina and you're suddenly on the roster with girls who were highly touted and heavily recruited just like you were. How difficult is that for an 18-year-old, that transition from high school to college ball?
Well, I suspicion for some individuals it would be tough, Sam. But Rivers is a thoroughbred. This is a different cat, all right? I think you kind of, normal comparisons you aren't really applicable here because she is so much better. I mean, you talk about blue chip. She is a blue chip high school basketball player. Look at this. I wonder if she'll dunk. Oh,
it went in.
She makes no mistake.
She had a good look at it. I guess you called it dunk, Jay. She grabbed the rim and it went in.
Works for me. I've never touched a rim in my life, right? So
Gee, with Jay, I follow her on Twitter. I knew she could do it because she posted a video about 3 days ago of herself dunking. Coming from that same side of the goal, jumping off 2 feet. So I knew she could do it, but the one on the video was a little cleaner than that one.
She looked so good. Hey, you know what? The good thing about Sanaya Rivers, too, from what I've read, I have talked to her a couple of times. We had been able to speak with her at a few games, but as good as she is as a ball player, she maybe is even better as a person. Very humble kid.
And a student.
Yeah, good student, yeah. I mean,
got a smile that would light up any room.
Yeah, her folks did good, right? They did good.
Yep, they did good.
Both of them were college basketball players, too. Golly.
Gee whiz. She's just so good.
Take it.
That's got to be a foul of some kind.
Well, not
Tootie
according
Hill
to
didn't
Tootie.
like it.
Tootie says no.
She said, I blocked a Division I basketball player, and that's what they get me for.
And Sam Hickman, that's what all these kids for West got to remember, right? You know, I'm looking out there at number 5, Haley Woodard, only a 9th grader, okay, playing on the varsity and playing real well as Rivers hits the first. This is something, look, 20 years from when Haley's doing play-by-play here at West for ATMC, she can talk about the night.
My job.
She could talk about the night when she was on the court with Sanaya Rivers.
That's right, Jay.
Probably finishing up her WNBA contract by that time.
That's exactly right. I mean, Jay, by the ESPN rankings, there are only 2 seniors in the country who are better girls basketball players than Sanaya Rivers. If you're following the ESPN rankings, only 2 in the country better than her.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
I'll tell you what, I would really like to see them.
I
would like to see
in my
them.
mind, she's number 1.
You know, I heard this about these rankings and ratings and, 5 stars and all that kind of stuff. I know you're familiar with that, being in a football family. And I heard a quote, I think it was from oh gosh, I can't think of his name now. The guy that coaches the Celtics, Brad Stevens. And Brad said when he was coaching in college,
Butler. Look at the pass.
Geez,
Morton missed it. Like to have that one back.
I gotta shut my mouth and just watch magnificence, right? Instead of me blabbering along.
Right.
But I'll finish that one story.
Brad Stevens, Butler.
He said he wanted to know what kind of rating did the Raiders have? In other words, the ones that said, well, this is a 5-star, this is a 4-star, this is a 3-star. He said, what's their star rating? And I had never thought about it until I read that, and I thought, holy cow, he's on to something, right? There you go.
Nice look into Anaya Metz, who puts it up and in. Jay, that's Metz's second bucket of the night.
Well, heck, good time to get good or have a good game when you're senior night and you're a senior.
Partner, let me make sure I'm following you here, okay?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
3-pointer from number 12, Mckenzie Morton. Boy, she's having a fantastic night with 7 points.
That's that freshman.
So, Jay, if I'm consistently right in my recruiting rankings, I'm a 5-star Raider.
I want to do the analysis, Sam. I would love to do the analysis.
Is that what Brad Stevens is saying? Like, if I hit on Sanaya Rivers and I'm a Raider, then that makes me a 5-star Raider. Is that what he's saying?
I think that's what he's saying. Because so many of these kids that go from high school to college, and from college then to professional, something happens. They don't all work.
Well, Jay, this is a conversation my brothers and I have had a lot watching college basketball this year.
Sure.
And you see some kids like Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State, stud. I mean, just a stud. Clearly a 5-star.
Supposed to be the best in the country.
But
by many Raiders ratings, right?
Now, North Carolina point guard, starter, and he's come around lately. But North Carolina's starting point guard is a freshman, Caleb Love. He was across the board a 5-star. And, Jay, his first 10 games at Carolina, I don't know how he got half a star.
There you go.
He was that bad. And the speed of the game is a lot different. Now, he's come into his own lately, but it seriously made me wonder what they saw in him that made him a 5-star. And a month has passed, and now I'm starting to see it.
Yeah.
But the stars and the performance or the effectiveness don't always mesh.
Don't always mesh, or it takes longer to mesh.
In Caleb Love's case.
And some they never mesh,
and
right?
that's right. Some of them they don't.
And then the ones that are walk-ons become, great players. So
and Brad Stevens took a bunch of 2 and 3 stars at Butler, and they were one of the best teams in the country.
Made them, put them in the national championship game.
Yep, lost to Duke. That's going to be a moving screen on number 20, Josie Conway. Jay, I'm sure you remember this guy. He was his recruitment was huge. He was supposed to come into Wake Forest and be, another Tim Duncan. Do you remember Lauren Woods?
Yeah, sort of, but not.
7-footer, real lanky. He got all the stars you could possibly have. Just a massive high school basketball recruit. Never panned out.
Never panned out.
Ended up transferring to Arizona and played, but was never a star. And, a few years later, you never heard his name again. But it just doesn't always work out like the Raiders.
Yeah, well,
it might.
Yeah, and it's gotta do some reading on that. I never really considered it from that point of view. But
good pass in from who was that? Jay Morgan Bellamy to Anaya Metz again.
And the reason we've gone sideways on this discussion is because of Rivers, because she is one of those 5-star players. And look, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that they've got that rating nailed pretty darn good.
Yeah, Jay, I know that she passes the Sam Hickman and the Jay Combs eye test.
Oh, yeah.
Metz, the first free throw attempt rattles out. She'll try to salvage a split. Oh, and she's just a little bit short on the second one. So West 0 for 4 its last 2 trips to the charity strike. Kiana Stewart cut off on the drive. Gets it into Lauren Craig. Back out to Stewart. She fires. Nothing but net. She's got 9. Second on the Ashley team in scoring behind Rivers. 21. Who do we have there, Jay? Ward?
Bucket inside by Ward. Junior forward, averages 4 a game. So
in both games we've had, she's played good minutes, Jay. Real under control. 2 seconds left. It's going to be a buzzer beater, and it counts before the buzzer. Mid-range jumper from number 44, Lauren Craig. And after 2 quarters of play, Ashley 48, West Brunswick 14. It's all Screaming Eagles here through the first 16 minutes. And, folks, stick with us for the second half. It's a 34-point margin, but you have the opportunity to watch one of the best high school girls basketball players in the country in Ashley's number 22, Sanaya Rivers. So stay right here with us on ATMC TV.
Excuse me, miss, what's your name? I don't wanna tell you the same old thing. Drop it low, make it pop. I can do this all night, shorty, I don't wanna stop. I need a go girl. I need a go girl. Go girl. Go. shopping for a new pair, stunting on you boppers in the DJ booth, kicking with some punk rockers. She my running back player, I'm the quarterback. Send her down to Mexico, she bringing me the quarterback. Excuse me, miss, what's your name? I don't wanna tell you the same old thing. Drop, go, girl. Go, 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 go. I need to go, 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 girl.
Welcome back to the start of the second half, your ATMC TV high school basketball game of the week, featuring Sanaya Rivers and the Ashley Screaming Eagles against the West Brunswick Trojans of Shallotte. Jay, tell us a little bit about the other Ashley standouts in the West Brunswick lineup that we saw in the first half.
I'll tell you who had a great game. We talk about their 5 seniors this start, but the freshman, Mckenzie Morton, had 7 points for Ashley, as Rivers now make it 23 points on the night. But solid team. This is, look, we talked about this a little bit last week when the Trojans were getting beat by Laney, and tough draw. I mean, your first 3 games of the year that you're playing, 2 against Ashley, 1 against Laney. Let's see what happens when West goes up against competition kind of a little more at their level. But
yeah, and Jay, one of the Trojans games this week that was supposed to be against South Brunswick was postponed for, well, I'm sure, following safety protocols. So a game West was supposed to have against a fellow 3A foe was postponed, and so another match with the Titans.
Well, Mets hits 1 out of 2. And how about that? Number 4, Morgan Bellamy, the precocious sophomore, maybe forces Rivers into a turnover. So nice job by Morgan Bellamy.
Oh, West Brunswick really making it a point to get the ball down low. Good entry pass, and Yazzie Stanley finishes off the glass, her first bucket.
Yeah, good to get Stanley involved, right? Yazzie scoreless in the first half. Nice to see her get on the board here early in the third quarter. When these teams played the first time, Ashley beat, oh gosh, there she goes again. Ashley beat them pretty soundly, but as I recall, the fourth quarter was a West Brunswick quarter, 18-11. Now, might be an indication of when, the talent evens up a little bit, the Trojans can compete.
Rivers picks the pocket of Morgan Bellamy. Now going 1-on-2, entry pass into number 40, Brent Little, and she was tied up by Tootie Hill. Jay, maybe West Brunswick can get sharpshooter Gracie Elmore open for a couple of clean looks here in the third quarter.
She can shoot the 3, Sam, okay, and she's just got to get a chance to do it. It's so much, when you got a hand in your face or somebody, coming out on you, it's not so easy to do. But Elmore can shoot, and I'm sure we're going to see her get some cleaner opportunities in this second half. She gets called for the walk there, but that's just good defense by number 5, Kiana Stewart, who really jumped her quick, and Gracie didn't have a chance to do much.
Lexi Hansen got Stewart on the corner, and a good rebound right off the rim. Anaya Metz. Boy, Metz has played a good game here on senior night.
Nice look inside.
Oh, good pass into Yazzie Stanley, but it was knocked out of bounds by number 23, Lexi Hansen. Jay, good to be back here on ATMC TV.
That it is, and certainly the live component introduces a whole new set of dynamics for us. There's Elmore. Bang, front of it.
Tootie Hill with the rebound off the glass and in. West Brunswick asserting itself well here in the first 2 minutes of the third.
5-4 Trojans here in the third quarter. Nice ball fake.
Rivers padding a rebound in stats there. Add another rebound and 2 points.
Well, she's
27 to lead all scorers.
Yeah, she averages 35 points a game this year and 12 rebounds per contest. And my guess is, other than when they played Hoggers, she didn't have a full game. Nice look again by Elmore. She's just got to keep shooting, Sam, and good work by 21 Hill.
And Jay, as long as Rivers is with her jumping ability, very important. You got to get a body on her and box her out on the glass.
She's got some long arms, let me tell you.
And look how she led number 5, Kiana Stewart, there on the fast break. West Brunswick wants a timeout, but the Trojans playing tough here early in the third. Ashley's outscored West 8-5 here in the third period, and the score actually has extended its lead to 56-19. 3 more points. It'll be a 40-point advantage for the Screaming Eagles. Jay, I know you haven't seen film or anything, but how do you imagine Hoggard was able to slow down this Ashley team and score buckets on them on the other end? It's hard to understand watching them how they lost the conference game.
Yeah, and I don't know if I have the score of that game. I want to say it was a fairly –
It was like 49-43.
In the 40s,
yeah.
Which, think about it, Ashley as a team averages 62 points a game. Rivers averages 35 of them, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of evening that Rivers had that night, but if the game was in the 40s, I think you just credit Hoggard for doing a great job of defending not only against Rivers but the entire team.
And, Jay, we know the job that Boubacar All has done with the Hoggard women's basketball program. He's one of the better coaches in the area, boys or girls.
Well, he's got some studs here. That kid Tresvik,
yeah,
she's a player.
And Anya Massey,
yeah,
the little sister of former Hoggard boys star Jackson Massey, baseline jumper. Oh, it rims all the way in and out. Bryn Little's got the board back to Stewart. No good. Offensive rebound. Boy, she got hammered there on that putback attempt, and Rivers will go to the line for two.
You know, watching some of the other kids on the Ashley team, and you just call one's name out there, Bryn Little. I think you could say the same thing about Lauren Craig and Hinson. These kids on any other team, they're probably, double players,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But on a team with a one kid that's as gifted and talented as Rivers is, you take a little bit of a back seat, but they seem to be, quite ready to do it and eager to do it. They keep the ball alive, and a lot of occasions like that, Rivers is able to finish it.
And, Jay, another thing to note, when you play with someone of Rivers' caliber, you better always be ready on the offensive end, because even if you have a slither of an opening, she'll find you.
Yeah, and again, that is what has impressed me over the years of watching her. It's not her shooting, it's not her rebounding, it's her ability to pass the ball, to see the court. She's a really good ball player.
Now, Jay,
nice.
Jay, how's that for a give and go? Pass it. The Ashley defender knocks it back to you. You get it on the run and get an and one. Yazzie Stanley with a beautiful play in the paint.
That's a Yaz master play, let me tell you. One of those seniors who has kind of, been here for the changes in West girls basketball.
Good high school basketball player,
yeah.
Yazzie Stanley. She's done a nice job. Boy, Stewart's got that pump fake down, doesn't she, partner?
Yeah, she's a good ball player. Again, gets a little bit lost in the shuffle.
Amani Vault stole it, but she threw it right to number 10, Tiara David, who puts it up and in for an Ashley 2.
First bucket of the game for David.
59-22. Ashley leads by 37. Uh-oh, Jay. Oh, Bellamy does a good job sticking with it. He'll pass into Aaliyah Ward, but a foul called on the floor against Bryn Little.
Now, Sam, I told you earlier, the reports on Rivers is that as good a ball player she is, she's just as nice a human being. And that time, she was helping Bellamy up off the floor.
After picking her pocket.
After picking, yeah. So that's a nice kid that does something like that.
Yeah, and Jay, you noticed a couple times, Bellamy has not shied away from the competition tonight. 3:59 left in the third. So kudos to her for stepping up to the challenge.
Hey, and kudos to Coach Bannerman for kind of instilling that, tough work ethic with this Lear's team. Yeah, they're taking it on the chin here tonight, and they kind of probably knew that before the game started, but let's see how it is when they play South. Let's see how it is when they play North. Let's see how it is when they, play Topsail and some of the other teams in their schedule that are more, at least on paper, more competitive. We're going to see a tough kid in the second game tonight. When you're talking about Morgan Bellamy, I think real quick of J.J. Cobb, who has absolutely zero fear. Zero fear.
Yeah, and Jay, he and Morgan Bellamy are not far from being the same size. I mean, Cobb is Cobb is little.
Say,
I mean, he's smaller.
They say he's 5'8", but I'm not so sure. I don't know, but I'll tell you what.
But, Jay, let me tell you.
He got a jet or 2 or 3. Nice.
And listen, there is it was the saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. J.J. Cobb literally is a walking, living, breathing example of that. He is a tough competitor.
Yep. He is that indeed. And quick.
Yazzie Stanley has 5 in the third quarter. Make that 6. 2 of 2 from the charity stripe tonight. And, Jay, you got it, man. West has got something going with Metz and Stanley and Tootie Hill and Aaliyah Ward there on the block. Just haven't quite put it all together. And Jay, like you've said, boy, some tough competition these girls have played.
Well, exactly.
Oh, what a pass.
They're still trying to find themselves in terms of creating shots, making decent, getting shots out there that are make-a-bowl. But they got a couple ball players out there that'll go at you, and they're going to get better.
Yazzie Stanley misses and then clings into Rivers, who got the defensive rebound. Rivers up, in, plus the foul. Took a shot there too, partner. She's down by the padded wall there.
So Nia Rivers with the and 1, and she's getting up. And hopefully going to be able to continue. Look.
Jay, those were her 29th and 30th points of the evening.
Yeah, she's still 5 points under her per-game average, so she's got some work to do, but took a pretty good shot that time. Let's see her concentration on the line after that. Look pretty solid, Sam.
Read a Star News article about her and some conversations she's had with Dawn Staley, and Staley was quoted in there saying, I'm not going to share what we talked about in our private conversations, but you got to take my word for it when I tell you this child hates to lose.
Oh,
gee whiz.
What a wonderful pass.
And Stewart lost it on the way up, couldn't finish it. But, Jay, you talk about a competitor. Rivers the ultimate one, as her soon-to-be college coach.
Well, Dawn Staley's won a national championship or 2, right?
And gold medals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she kind of knows what, me and you, we don't know anything, but Dawn Staley does, and she's I believe, her number 1 recruit coming in next year. So.
And, Jay, and Staley was also a heck of a player herself.
Yeah.
At the University of Virginia.
Nice.
Oh, a nice runner from number 32, Hannah Douglas.
Hannah, where you been?
Hannah Duggs with the runner in the lane.
10th grader getting into the scoring column.
Vault did a good job coming back and getting that pass and not just waiting on it. Bellamy floater off the rim, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Ashley. It will stay with the Trojans. Elmore checking back into the game. Let's see, Elmore entered averaging 7 per game. Jay, she and Haley Woodard, well, Stanley averages 8, but then Elmore and Woodard averaging 7 apiece. Those are the Trojans' top 3 leading scorers.
Yeah, that's where their points are going to come from. And
Ashley's moved to a zone, partner. Good job by Stanley getting in there and getting the steal. Elmore from distance, no good.
Tough
good
shooting
rebound in there from number 20, Josie Conway.
Yeah, tough shooting night for Gracie Elmore, but she just got to keep firing away.
64-23, Ashley Lee. Craig, mid-range jumper, no good. Rivers with the rebound, spin move, lost it, and Metz came away with the steal. Oh, Stanley with a good look ahead to Elmore. Lefty layup off the glass and in, and Elmore's in the book.
Sometimes that's a way to get going as a shooter, and you're having a tough night. But if you can get a free throw or if you can get a layup, then all of a sudden that basket gets a little bit bigger and a little easier to put it in.
Hannah Douglas kicks it over to the right wing. Oh, a good look from Rivers to the opposite wing to Hannah Douglas. Drive off the glass, no good. Craig loses the rebound. Oh, Rivers is chasing her from behind. Oh, and she caught her but couldn't quite hang on to the steal. And, Jay, the clock's going to keep on running with the margin between the two teams being 40 points or more. We're going to have a running clock. It will only stop on official breaks and timeouts the rest of the way. Woodard with a good pass over to Stanley, who shot just a little flat, no good. A rebound by number 12, Mckenzie Morton. From distance, oh, it was a two-pointer. Number 14, Annalise Sappho, was just inside the line. She's got 5, both perimeter jumpers. Less than 20 seconds left in the third. Ashley 66, West Brunswick 25. Boy, Elmore has been just a little bit off. Tootie Hill with the offensive rebound. Turn around, baby hook, up and good. She's got 6. And Jay, only 2 seconds left in the half. Sappho fires one, and it is about 15 feet short. We're going to take a short break here on ATMC TV. Trojans still getting after it here against Ashley, but West Brunswick finds itself down 66-27 heading into the fourth. Welcome back to the campus of West Brunswick High School on ATMC TV. The Ashley Screaming Eagles lead 66-27. A reminder, we will have a running clock for the final 8 minutes as Ashley's lead blossomed to 40 or more points, even though West cut it back down to 39 there at the end of the third. Douglas from distance, no good. A good rebound by Yazzie Stanley. Boy, Jay, she's been effective this half.
Tell you, Yazzie's had a pretty good second half. She's got 6 points.
Got to catch it before you move with it. I think Elmore just barely took her eye off of it there at the very end, but does a good job scrapping with an Ashley defender to force a tie up. Jay, there. Henson, Rivers, and sorry, I didn't get a look at the last number. Number 10, Tiara David are coming back in.
A little surprised. There might be some kind of something that Coach Gale wants to work on here, because it is a running clock, and I thought maybe that was going to be the end of Rivers' time here this evening. So they call it jump ball against Hill.
And yeah, it's a shame because the shot went in.
Yeah, and Lauren
turn
Craig.
Around little baby hook there went in.
So I'm guessing they're working on something special. Otherwise, I think the kids from Ashley would be maybe just enjoying it.
No, and it was special, Jay. A beautiful possession, but a missed shot. Sappho with the rebound, jump shot. Oh, it rattles out. Offensive rebound. Oh, and then Yazzie Stanley blocked the shot from behind. Tie ball situation favors. Well, Jay, if they just, it was a tie ball on Tootie Hill. It was Ashley basketball. So that tie ball should be coming the other way, no? But the arrow on the scoreboard favors the Screaming Eagles. We'll see what the call is on the field, or on the court, rather.
So the clock will stop for injuries, right, Sam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Any official timeout,
okay,
like actual timeouts or injuries or, you know, moisture on the court, anything like that.
And they got it squared away.
Yep,
as far
it
as
will
possession.
come. It will come down to the Trojans' end. So still no blood here in the fourth quarter. Elmore thought about it, but instead got it back to Yazzie Stanley. Back to Elmore, swings it over to Tootie Hill. Entry pass into Yazzie Stanley, got it into Metz, couldn't come up with the catch, and Rivers ultimately with the steal.
Well, they turned the ball over, but for about 20, 25 seconds here, they moved it real well. They got to do more of that. Oh, my gosh.
Man, one-handed off the dribble whip pass into Tiara David, who lays it up and in for 2.
That is a Division I pass, okay? And Coach Bannerman's going to call a timeout.
Well, 5:08 left in the game. Ashley 68, West Brunswick 27. It will be a full timeout. Jay, let me ask you this. With 3 of West Brunswick's first, their first 3 games, 2 against Ashley
And 1 against
and
Laney.
1 against Laney, how difficult is it, even though if you're Coach Bannerman, do you keep encouraging your team that we're going to get some games against Topsail and North Brunswick and South Brunswick where it's going to be a little closer, but it can be demoralizing for a group of young people who get bludgeoned night after night by the likes of Ashley, Laney, Hoggard.
Well, sure.
And I know because I lived it.
Yeah, it could be, but I think that's where, a real good coach and teacher like Andrea Bannerman steps in and works as much on keeping the kids' mental aspects in good shape as anything else. Nice ball movement that time.
Oh, great baseline out of bounds play.
Yeah, ended up with a real good shot, just didn't convert. But if you're a coach, that's all you can ask for. Take good shots.
Mid-range jumper, up no good. Rivers with the rebound. Left-handed layup, up and in. Up and in, rather.
She can use her offhand probably better than most of us can use our on hand, right, our strong hand. She was going to give it up then she does. Bam.
Was that Henson?
Yep.
On the way up? Lexi Henson puts it up and in. She's got 4.
Another great pass by Nia Rivers. And we've got some wholesale substitutions for West Brunswick, Sam. Excuse me.
Checking into the game. For West, we've got Aaliyah Ward, Amani Vault, Haley Woodard, Morgan Bellamy, and Brianna Leonard. It's Henson, David, Rivers, Sappho, and Bryn Little for the Screaming Eagles. Sappho from the baseline, little strong, no good. Ward with a good box out and rebound. Oh, a good look ahead from Woodard to Amani Vault.
Oh, good get
and then
back.
The free safety, number 40, Bryn Little, knocks it out of bounds.
Nice recovery that time by Little. The kid, Annalise Sappho, any relation to the mayor in
Do
Wilmington?
not know, my friend.
I'm not sure. I think we've had that question in years past, and I'm not sure we ever got an answer. Is Annalise Sappho related to Bill Sappho, the mayor of the city of Wilmington? I don't know.
3:42 left in the game. Ashley 72, West Brunswick 27. Jay, it'll be really interesting to see. Sanaya Rivers has never lost before the 4th round of the state playoffs.
Say that one again. Never
lost.
lost.
Sanaya Rivers team has never lost before the 4th round. She's advanced to at least the 4th round in all 3 years of her high school career.
That's another pretty special tidbit about Nia Rivers.
It's like Ashley gets to the 3rd round of the playoffs, or Laney her first 2 years, and then the season starts. Vault threw it off the back of Rivers. Oh, it misses, but a great individual effort from Amani Vault. And even Rivers had a laugh about it.
So here's my question. If Vaught had converted, does Rivers get an assist?
Give it to her.
Give it to her.
And Jay, she just had a nice moment with the West Brunswick bench. Rivers turned to the bench and said, who told her to do that? Baseline jumper up and in for Lexi Henson. Back-to-back buckets for Henson, and it's 74-21. Leonard from deep.
Off the glass, off the rim, no good. Rivers pulls down about her 48th rebound.
You know, Brianna Leonard's not afraid to put it up. It looks pretty good when she does.
Yep. She was a good shooter last year on the JV girls team. Rivers with the rebound. Henson from the baseline, no good. Aaliyah Ward with the rebound, but it was a tie ball situation. It'll actually stay with the Screaming Eagles.
Good work by Ward that time.
2:37 left in the game. Morgan Bellamy will bring it across the timeline for the Trojans. Jay, it's been nice to see tonight. West has never got out of its offense or game plan and what it's trying to do. Kind of stayed within themselves all night, even when the score, got out of hand.
Yeah, you know what I think they've done pretty well tonight is now they've, turned the ball over more than Coach Bannerman would ever want. But I think they have done a much better job of running some continuity on their offense as number 40 Bryn Little scores.
Bryn Little, almost a tie ball situation, but powered through the contact and got it up and in. So Bryn Little has 4 points. Sanaya Rivers leads all scorers with 33. You got that, partner?
Unofficial, yeah, that's what I got her with.
Oh, it's not unofficial when Jay Combs keeps it, folks.
Off night for Rivers. She averages 35.
Yeah.
So West held her under her average. Pretty good job by the Trojans.
Jay, are you surprised a lot of these Ashley starters played the whole fourth quarter or most of the fourth quarter?
Well, I was a little surprised that she put Coach Gale put the starters back in, but look, this lady knows what she's doing. So there's a method to her madness for sure.
How you doing, sir? I will, Mr. Ref. Thanks for asking. And Jay, Adrienne Gill's won a lot of games in coaching high school basketball. She clearly knows what she's doing. Yazzie Stanley misses both free throw attempts. So a minute 15 left in the game, 76-27. And Jay, it kind of seems crazy to say, when there's almost a 50-point margin between the teams, but I feel like West has been so much better tonight than they were last week against Laney.
Sam, I couldn't agree with you more, and that is kind of strange, right? But because it was a tough Friday night last week, but I think the Trojans have played much better here tonight. Scoreboard won't say it, but they have played better.
Layup up and in for number 12, Mckenzie Morton. She's got a quiet 9.
9 points, for the freshman.
I'm assuming, Jay, if she's a freshman averaging 1.5 points per game, that 9 is probably a career high. Yazzie Stanley, right on line, just a little bit short. 30 seconds left in the game.
Oh, we just got a technical foul, and I haven't a clue why.
Jay, as the referee was running down the court, there was about 5 Ashley players who were about a full step on the court. And the ref ran into one of them.
Okay.
And I think it's like football's version of the second sideline warning.
Yeah, being out of the box there or whatever.
Yeah, right. But Brianna Leonard is going to shoot a pair, I'm assuming, of technical free throws. First one is off the mark.
Tell you one thing the Trojans could work on next week is free throw shooting. They have had they've made 5, so make it 6.
You're right, Jay. She's got a nice looking shooting form,
she
Brianna
does.
Leonard.
Yeah, a junior. She's, scores 3 points a game so far this year.
So a technical foul with 26 seconds left in the game. Ball knocked out of bounds by Ashley. 24 seconds left, 78-28. Jay, final impressions for tonight's girls game?
Well, just the magnificence of Rivers, the grittiness of West, because as you said before, Sam, in many ways the score won't reflect it, but a much better effort by the Trojans this week than last week against Laney. Still hustling with only, 5 seconds to go. But let's wait and see what happens when they start playing the other directional schools, right? The Norths and the Souths, and see what happens for the Lady Trojans basketball fortunes this year. But tonight, too much Rivers, too much Ashley.
And Jay, still very much a good chance for West Brunswick to qualify for the 3A state playoffs. Got to find a way to compete with South, North, and Topsail. But for the girls' game, that will do it here on ATMC TV. Ashley improves to 7-1, and on a 4-game winning streak, the Trojans fall to 0-3. They've lost both games against Ashley and one against Laney. Stay with us here on ATMC TV for the varsity boys basketball game between the Ashley Screaming Eagles and the West Brunswick Trojans.
Okay, we're going to start the second presentation with men's basketball this evening. Our first player is William Cole Hamilton. Cole is escorted by his parents, Chris and Michelle Hamilton. Cole will be attending either the University of Tennessee or East Carolina University in the fall, majoring in exercise physiology, with a plan to obtain a doctorate in physical therapy. Cole Hamilton. Next we have Ethan Hewitt. Ethan is escorted and seated by his parents, Jennifer and Myron Hewitt. Ethan plans to attend a four-year university majoring in business administration. That's Ethan Hewitt. Okay, next we'll have our varsity cheerleaders, our senior cheerleaders. First, Amaya Anderson. Amaya is escorted this evening by her grandmother and her mom. After high school, she plans to go to BCC, then transfer to UNCW. She would like to thank Coach Kim for everything for the past few years. You've been more than a coach. You pushed me to do better, and was there for me when I was down. I want to give you appreciation to my teammates. They're best friends, and we've become a family over the years. She loves everybody. That's Amaya Anderson. Next, we have Caroline Bryant. Caroline's escorted this evening by her parents, it's Robbie and Melissa Bryant. Caroline is currently planning to attend Clemson University this fall, majoring in a bachelor of, studying for a bachelor's degree in nursing. That's Caroline Bryant. Jacqueline Hubbard. Jacqueline is escorted this evening by her mother, Lisa Hubbard. She'll be attending BCC this fall to get an associate's degree in health science and nursing. And she would add thanks for her family, friends, and coaches for all they've done for her and for pushing her to be the best that she can be. That's Jacqueline Hubbard. Jaden Keith. Jaden's escorted by her dad, Bobby Church, her brother, Nathan Church. She's been attending BCC for 2 years and then transferred to a four-year university to major in pediatric medicine. That is Jaden Keith. Taja McCrae. Taja is escorted this evening by her parents, Marcus and Crystal McCrae. Taja says to us that she has cheered for all 4 years of high school. She's going to miss cheering for the chosen community. She's going to attend a scholars program at North Carolina Central University, planning to major in criminal justice. Taja McCrae. Kaylee McDowell. Kaylee's escorted by her parents, Brian and Nicole McDowell. In the fall, she'll be attending East Carolina University and be earning her bachelor's degree in chemistry. After obtaining her master's degree at ECU, she would then plan to major in medical school at the Medical University of South Carolina to become a NICU doctor. She would like to thank Cheer for being so much fun for the past 4 years, made lifelong friendships through Cheer and not ready for it to end. Thank you, Coach Kim and Molly, for being such great role models. Is also grateful for the continued support for her mom and her dad. So excited for what the next challenge in her life holds. That's Kaylee McDowell. Mckenzie Pope. Mckenzie is escorted to city by her dad, Sean Pope, and her mom, Mandy Pope. She'll be attending a four-year university major in nursing in the fall. Among other schools, she's strongly considering UNC Chapel Hill and Indiana University. She'll miss cheering for our Trojans and will forever cherish the memories and friendships she has made at West over the past 4 years. She wants to thank her mom, her dad, and brother for always supporting her no matter what, and for always being there for her, Mckenzie Pope. Alexis St. George. Alexis is escorted this evening by her parents, Jimmy and Lauren St. George. She plans to attend Cape Fear Community College for nursing. Plans to become a registered nurse and work in the neonatal intensive care unit. Alexis St. George. Lily Wells. Lily was escorted by her dad, James Wells, and her mom, Shirley Wells. She is undecided on her fall plans, but will eventually major in psychology or forensic science. Lily Wells. Okay, is that everybody? Miss anybody? Okay, let's give all of our seniors a big hand. Thank you for all the hard working as a student at West Brunswick.
Jay Combs, I know the gym isn't packed like it normally would be for a Friday night high school basketball game in Shallotte, but this is a big Mid-Eastern Conference game for both teams. Ashley and West Brunswick desperately seeking to get off the schneid here early in the 2021 high school basketball season. Ashley 0-3, West Brunswick 0-2. We've got all the action for you here on ATMC TV. Jay, who do we look for? What will stand out to our viewers tonight?
Well, number 3 for Ashley will stand out pretty darn quick. That's Mikhail Pocknet, 6'4" junior, averaging 13.3 points per game and 5.3 rebounds per contest. He is a stud, has led Ashley in scoring in all 3 of their games this year. And tonight for West, look, they defended much better their last game, although it was a loss against South. So they got to figure out a way to get some more offense, and maybe J.J. Cobb can get them going. Ethan Hewitt can shoot them up from the three-point line, and there's a good turnover to start the game for West.
And in a zone to start the game, partner. For the Trojans, it's Cobb, Hamilton, Urasek, Ethan Hewitt, and Savion Meters. For the Screaming Eagles, it's Mikhail Pognet, Damel McGill, Blake Lewis, Jalen Conway, and Maury Brown.
West's most recent game earlier this week, they lost to South 44-34, but they had 6 3-point shots. 2 by Metters, 2 by McCall, and I think 2 from Ethan Hewitt. So can shoot the ball from the three-point stripe, you can score some points quick.
West Brunswick moving with purpose here in the early going, just calmly taking their time, passing it around the perimeter. First start of the season for Cole Hamilton and Abel Urasek. Cole Hamilton was just recognized on senior night here in Shallotte. Cobb missed. Urasek with the offensive rebound, pass back out to Ethan Hewitt. Meters has got a look. Short, but another offensive board. Hamilton off the glass, too strong. Rebound down to Maury Brown. So 3 looks at it for the Trojans, and they come up empty.
Well, they had a couple of good looks, you're right, Sam, and just weren't able to get the ball down.
Boy, Jay, both of these teams really struggle from the perimeter and shooting the ball overall. Good pass from Pocknet to Damel McGill, who gets the Screaming Eagles on the board and ahead 2-0.
Ashley only averages 35 points a game, so scoring has been an issue for them as well this year.
Jump ball tie-up. Possession arrow favors the Trojans as Urasek got tied up by Pocknet there under the basket.
Now, J.J. Cobb going to trigger this, and a lot of times the guy that throws the ball in can suddenly become open. Let's see if that happens on this trip.
Cobb having a tough time getting it in, and it's a 5-second violation.
Not going to happen.
Early turnover for West Brunswick. 6:28 left in the opening period. Ashley 2, West Brunswick 0.
Yeah, not a lot of movement that time by the Trojans. And
hard to get open, Jay, if there's not a lot of movement.
Yeah.
So setting screens and back cuts and whatever it takes to get freed up.
Yeah, basketball is not a standing still game.
Ashley trying to decipher this West Brunswick zone. Looks like a 2-3 as Ashley tries to get it to Pocknet. Kicks it across. Deep jumper, no good. Pocknet just kind of hits Ethan Hewitt out of the way and puts the putback up and in. So an early 4-0 lead for Ashley, and here comes Cobb.
Yeah, Ashley's got a decided height advantage, particularly with Pocknet, although Miguel, pretty good-sized kid too.
Hamilton mid-range jumper, no good. Maury Brown with a good box out and rebound for the Screaming Eagles. Blocking foul called against Urasek, and Maury Brown will go to the line for 2 shots.
Remember Maury Brown from last year, a real nice player. He's a junior this year, averaging 6'3", just under 2 boards and just under 2 assists per game. For Wells Gullidge, head coach at Ashley.
Boy, talk about a coaching pedigree, Jay. Wells Gullidge spent some time at Kinston High School, a traditional basketball powerhouse, and has done a good job at Ashley, kind of inching the Screaming Eagles closer to contention in the Mid-Eastern Conference.
Ashley's a 50% free throw shooting team, and Brown was 1 for 2 on his 2 shots.
West trying to get on the scoreboard here, 2.5 minutes into the game. Hewitt with a pass into Meters. Jurasek thought about it, then rifled it to Ethan Hewitt, who made a nice save to get it back to Jurasek. Cobb drive to Hamilton. Jurasek thought about it. Off the rim, no good. Maury Brown with another defensive rebound, his 3rd carom of the game for Ashley. Trojan Mitch wanted to travel there on Brown, but no call.
Nice inside play by Ashley, not able to convert.
Oh, West had the rebound and couldn't get it. Cobb gets in there, and the smallest guy on the court comes away with it. Look at that dribbling exhibition. Oh, what a pass. Oh, a great individual effort from J.J. Cobb over to Savion Meters, who lays it up softly for the Trojans' first bucket.
Yeah, I don't know what was better on that play, his pass or his rebound.
Open baseline jumper, no good, and a good box out from Abel Jurasek. Cleared out Domel Miguel there and got the board. Metters misses an open baseline jumper, and Brown comes down with it for Ashley.
Well, that's what West is going to have to do rebound-wise, just what Jurasek did. Put his body between him and the opponent, box him out.
Brown.
Boom.
From distance, nothing but nylon. Maury Brown puts the Screaming Eagles ahead, 8-2, little more than halfway through the opening frame.
First 3-point shot of the season for Brown.
Oh,
look at
what
Cobb.
a move. J.J. Cobb, lefty off the glass, and that's what the Trojans are going to have to do, Jay. I don't think anything can go bad if you've got J.J. Cobb penetrating and attacking off the dribble.
And he has no fear, and he really does a great job of getting into the paint and then creating.
Meters nearly came up with a steal, but he was able to get it to number 10, Blake Lewis, with an off-balance jumper in the paint and it's 10-4, Screaming Eagles.
So Ashley, a team that has a hard time putting the ball in the basket, off to a quick start here tonight.
Miguel airballed the short shot. Here's what West needs, a push ahead to Meters. Charging foul called against Meters. Pocknet did a good job getting back in position, getting his feet established, and we'll get our first look at West Brunswick reserve guard, number 11, Jordan McCall. He's coming into the game for Cole Hamilton. Number 20, Tyler Rodriguez, checking into the game for Abel Jurasek. First, Jay, I think we're going to get a COVID timeout. Jay, a well-played opening 5 minutes. Ashley with a 10-4 lead, but West Brunswick much more engaged. Effort, energy much better than it was a week ago against the Laney Buccaneers.
Yeah, they got into a kind of an early hole against the Buccaneers and were never ever able to dig their way out of it. A couple of the early impressions that size advantage for Ashley tonight is going to be a problem for West, so we're going to have to do an expert job of trying to box out, block out, and keep the Eagles off the glass. Secondly, Ethan Hewitt's quite an athlete. He's already made a couple of catches here today, and I haven't a clue as how he was able to do it. So try to get him engaged a little bit. Cobb off to a good start, and Metters with a bucket as well. So West trailing 10-4, but as you said, Sam, kind of seem much more engaged, much more involved in the game than they were just a week ago against Laney.
Let me ask you this, color analyst of the year. West Brunswick has played 2 games and scored 34 points in both games. Leading the team in scoring is Jordan McCall, averaging 8, and followed by Ethan Hewitt with 6 and Tyler Rodriguez with 7. Where did the points come from for West Brunswick? You can't win a whole lot of 32-minute games averaging 34 points per game. So how does West Brunswick get the ball in the bucket?
Well, I think ideally they'd like to create some offense out of their defense. And if they could get a couple of turnovers and beat the other team down court, get out on the break.
Another good rebound, Jay. Good call earlier about Ethan Hewitt's post presence. He just kind of played volleyball with himself and came away with that one.
He's listed at 6'2", but I believe Ethan plays a little bit bigger than that. And that's where you get points.
Jordan McCall with a great aggressive drive to the basket. Thought he was going to have a non-traditional three-point play, but the shot rattled out. But McCall with a good-looking drive, he'll go to the line with a chance to pull West within 4.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to try to get as much offense out of their defense as they can. So, make the game, a transition game and try to beat Ashley back down the floor. And, again, if they can turn them over a little bit, they'll go a long way towards helping them be successful. Not sure they got a lot of really just, Jerry West type prolific outside shooters, okay? Maybe they do. McCall can shoot the 3. And
Ethan Hewitt shoots it pretty well.
Yeah.
Rodriguez made a couple threes in West's first game. Jay, you've seen McCall last week against Laney and just a couple minutes here tonight. What's your take on the young sophomore? He's leading the Trojans in scoring.
Well, he's an athlete, Sam, and, he moves around real well on the court. And
Ethan Hewitt with another great effort play, knocks it off of the Ashley player, number 32, Trent Smith, and out of bounds. So West steals a possession there. Ashley 10, West Brunswick 5. And Jay, West has just got to keep it in this range for as long as they can. They can't let that lead, grow to 10 or 11 or 12. You keep it right here within striking distance and give yourself a chance later in the ballgame.
Yeah, I'm not sure, how good of a come-from-behind team they might be, but I'm pretty sure Coach Taylor would like to get a lead and see what they can do with it.
Oh, errant pass. Luckily, Darian Bimbo was there to snare it for the Trojans.
Cobb not in the game now, so players on the court gotta kind of pick it up a little bit.
Ian King also in the game for West. Bimbo thought about it, but gets it over to Rodriguez. West really deliberate with the ball here tonight. That is a charging foul called against Ian King. Maury Brown takes the charge. That's the second charging foul called against West Brunswick.
That's a close one. Looked like King maybe had got the corner and the defensive player not in front of him.
Brown was sliding there as King went up, but a charge nonetheless. Good defensive rebound by Ian King. I tell you, the smaller Trojans are mixing it up down in the painted area.
Well, it helps right now that Pockdale's not in the game, and this would be a good opportunity for West to kind of.
Oh, he had Rodriguez with an open look, but Bimbo threw it away and out of bounds. A good aggressive drive by Darian Bimbo, just airmailed the pass a bit.
I don't want to say they being West has to play a perfect game, okay, but
not far from it.
They got to minimize kind of unforced turnovers like that so that they can try to take advantage of every possession that they have. Look, they're moving on defense, so. Nice hustle by Hewitt again.
Just doing a monstrous job on the glass for West Brunswick early. Sorry about that, folks.
Ashley doing a good job that time of getting back transitionally. But nice idea on West's part to try to beat him down the court. McCall.
Ethan Hewitt from deep. Oh, it was dead on line, just a little strong. Ian King with the offensive rebound gets it to Jordan McCall.
Yeah, nice tap back that time by King. West's got a possession here.
Oh, that's a good job of closing out by Pocknet. I thought Ethan Hewitt had a clean look there. Boy, Aaron Taylor wanted a foul call there on the other end. A desperation three-point attempt was waved off. Wouldn't have counted anyway, but that will bring the first quarter to a close with the visiting Ashley Screaming Eagles leading West Brunswick 10-5. Jay, the offensive struggles continue for West Brunswick. Only 5 points in the frame, but a much better job of effort, energy, intensity on the defensive end, particularly on the defensive glass in the opening 8 minutes.
Yeah, considering the size differential, I think the Trojans did an excellent job, particularly off the defensive glass. And listen, they only score 34 points a game. That's not much. And when you look to see that they've been giving up after only 2 games, mind you, but 64 points per game, they've really done a good job here this evening, at least in the first quarter, of improving defensively. And this may be one of these kinds of West Brunswick teams that aren't going to win pretty, but are going to have to be gritty and force turnovers and try to take advantage of any and all opportunities that they can get by beating the other team down the floor.
And Jay, just we talked about this briefly at different times last week, but this is a West Brunswick team who had all basketball-related activities suspended over Christmas break until January 11th. So they were tasked with essentially cramming practices into one 7-day stretch and then had a game the very next week.
Yeah. So and listen, I don't. That would be difficult for any team to handle. But I think even more so for a team that essentially is playing their junior varsity team from last year.
That's right.
You know, you got Cobb back, you got, Hewitt back, but not a lot of minutes returning to the varsity team this year. So trying to blend together, the JV with the few guys back from the varsity and only having a week to do it, tall order for any team.
Yeah, Jay lost probably more than 90% of his scoring from last year's roster, but the Trojans are gonna play with who they've got, and right now on the court that's Bimbo, Urasek, Rodriguez, Ian King, and J.J. Cobb. A scramble drill. West Brunswick coming out of the break a little North Carolina-esque.
Yeah, they're in a man, and
Urasek got beat there in the post, but Pocknet lost it out of bounds. So, I tell you, West is getting after it on defense.
Well, they are, and Abel was really banging him around inside with Pocknet before, so nice effort by Urasek on that sequence. Much better spacing tonight, too, than they had last week against Laney. You don't see as many shirts together.
And not nearly as much dribbling, partner.
Yeah,
lots of passing and moving the ball around. Cobb's going to step back, fire away. That one missed badly, and Pocknet chased down the defensive board.
Yeah, a little lack of patience that time by JJ. They can get a better shot than that.
Donnell McGill, swing pass over to the wing. High post to McGill. He swings it to the corner. Little mid-range jumper for number 20, Jalen Conway, up and in. And Ashley leads by 12. Boy, Pocknet just spiked one off the backboard. But Bimbo on the other end, the corner three, and West pulls to within 4. Jay, I believe the points were added there to the wrong side. Yep, they were. It's going to be 12-8, Ashley. Scoreboard showing 15-8 here inside the gym, but it is 12-8, Ashley. It's fixed now. Boy, that's a tough ask of Urasek there against Pocknet in the post. Cobb tried to block the shot from behind, but they got him for a foul, and Pocknet will go to the line for 2. Boy, I tell you, Abel Urasek, somebody's going to have to reward him with some McDonald's, like the logo on his shoe there, for the effort he's putting forth trying to defend Pocknet down in the post.
And listen, Coach sees him play, Coach sees him practice. We were a little surprised that Abel had a start here this evening, but, maybe that's what has been warranted by virtue of good practicing. But that's a couple of good minutes by Urasek to start this second quarter, that's for sure. Pocknet
knocks in the second one, so he's got 3 points. Came into the game averaging 13. Ethan Hewitt's got a look. He misses badly to the left. Rodriguez saves it to Cobb, whose shot is no good. Pocknet almost tipped it up and in, but it's 13-8, Ashley. Screaming Eagles with the ball. And, Jay, that's really the first big lapse tonight. West just didn't run back and find a shooter, and Blake Lewis made them pay.
Well, they got beat transitionally, and they come right back down the other end.
Ian King for 2.
But you're right, Sam. They did get beat that time down the floor, maybe the first time here this evening.
Does it not just feel like the overall energy is a lot better for the Trojans tonight? Just overall across the board. On the glass, moving the ball, the spacing, everything just feels like the Trojans are in a better spot than they were, last Friday against Laney.
I think you're right, Sam.
Pocknet. Thought King got a little shove in the back there by Pocknet, but no whistle, and King wasn't able to come up with the rebound. Ashley 16, West Brunswick 10. Meters McCall and Tavion King are set to check in for the Trojans.
Tell you what, Sam, I'm watching Pocknet out there, and he's tired. He's pulling that mask off.
Yeah.
He's got his
grabbing
hands.
the elbow, grabbing the knees.
Yeah. So different kids for West are taking different shots at Pocknet. Look at him right now, Sam, out there. He's got his hands on his knees, and he's tired. That might not be a bad idea for West to go at him and pick up a cheap foul.
Maybe get him in foul trouble. That's
Sure.
exactly what I was going to ask you. If that's opportunity to attack, maybe you get him reaching or over the back or something like that, and get the star into foul trouble.
I mean, he's made a couple of spectacular blocks for sure, but they're making him work.
Meters has got Tavion King.
There's the shot.
Close out.
There's the
McCall's
shot.
going to fire anyway. Oh, it was dead on line, just a little bit short. Ashley nearly dribbled it off his leg and out of bounds, but Screaming Eagles maintain possession. 4:40 left before halftime. Ashley by 6. Look, they're fronting Pocknet, partner.
Yeah.
Watch Ethan Hewitt down there fronting number 3 with help behind him with Tavion King.
Yeah, West doing a nice job of guarding the paint.
Boy, a good defensive possession for 30 seconds now for West. Ashley's been able to do nothing except move the ball around the perimeter, and Jacob Lewis is going to reset. Blake Lewis, excuse me. Pocknet lost it. McCall with the steal, and he was fouled. A great 40-second defensive possession for West Brunswick results in a turnover. And, Jay, I think the defensive effort right there frustrated the Screaming Eagles, and they tried to force something in there. And Coach Aaron Taylor of the Trojans pleased with 3:52 left before halftime. Ashley leads West 16-10. Worth noting, Jay, halfway through the second quarter, West has already matched its scoring output from the first quarter alone with 5 points.
You were asking earlier, what's West got to do to be successful or to win? Let's get to the bottom line. And what you just saw for that past 40 seconds is what they're going to have to do. They're going to just have to get into you defensively, just make you scrap and work so hard for anything you get offensively, and then, try to get down the court. When Cobb is in the game, Cobb has the ability to push the ball really well and can penetrate in the paint, and then does a nice job of recognizing where the kickouts are. And when some of those passes go to the guys that are surrounding the three-point line to shoot, and when some of those shots start falling, that's when West can probably begin to do some things offensively. But it all starts with defense. If they can't turn them over and get transition points out of it, they certainly want to do a good job of defending the ball and making every shot just a challenge.
How about in the half court, partner? What can the Trojans do in the half court to get some cleaner looks at the bucket? Like that right there. Metters off a high ball screen, straight to the rim, up and in, and that's another benefit of Pocknet being out. No rim protection.
Yeah. Metters, kid that has, look at there.
Boom, Jay, you called it. Tavion King with a steal and the layup. Trojans within 2.
Sam, it also helps. We were talking about with the girls. When you get away from the New Hanovers as 10
off the glass and in. Not sure he called bank, but it counts just the same. Boy, McCall, I thought he got hacked there, partner, but no call. Ball bounces out to Tavion King. Aaron Taylor wants a timeout, and it is granted just in time, too, because it looked like the Trojans were about to turn it over. Boy, I thought McCall got fouled there on the kind of the off-balance shot attempt. 2:53 left before halftime. Jay, that was a frenetic sequence there. West with 4 quick ones. But Ashley sprints back up the court, makes a jumper of their own.
I think that's how West is going to have to play, Sam. It ain't pretty, but it could be effective, right? And that kind of up and down the game like that and just dig into you so hard defensively is something that they can build on. Back to Cobb, you were asking what are they doing in our half court. Penetration is really important for them, and because they're not a big team, so they've got to kind of get the ball inside to get the ball outside and get some open looks. Now, sometimes JJ, and we saw that Metters that time and King beat you to the bucket. And if you can beat them off the dribble, that's another very effective way to come up with a good shot offensively. Good possession here for West, though, to get back, try to close this 4-2 or maybe even 1. Dangerous throw there.
Stepped on the line.
Not a good pass. Not a good pass on Jordan's part. Will not make that mistake probably when he's a junior and certainly when he's a senior.
Yeah, and Jay, that's one that Tavion King you might let bounce and you retrieve it in the backcourt, but the Ashley defender was close on him, so was definitely put in a tough spot there. West Brunswick will try and come up with another stop. 2:50 left in the second quarter. Ashley 18, West Brunswick 14. Been a real competitive game through the opening five minutes of the second quarter. Walking violation on Maury Brown.
Well, I don't know what you described their defense before. You had a word for
Scramble.
it? Scramble, yeah. Well, they're scrambling right now, and they jump out of you from that zone and put pressure in. It's given Ashley a problem.
Jay, that is a Dean Smith staple. You just lull them to sleep, playing your regular defense, for however long, and then out of a timeout maybe or something like that, you run at them and make them make a decision quickly, and a lot of times it can force, silly turnovers.
Nice.
McCall with a great drive to the basket, just couldn't quite get the finish. A good aggressive move from the sophomore, but
here they come. Here they come.
Here's the scramble. Ashley doing a good job moving the ball. McCall gambled and missed.
Just barely, though.
Yep, back out to Maury Brown. Lewis from the wing. Oh, boy, it looked dead on. Ethan Hewitt chases down the rebound. Boy, West staying in this game by virtue of his defense in the first half.
Now look how far out they're spread, Sam. They open up the lane for cutters. You don't get double teams. You can do the kickouts for shots like that. Oh! He got fouled.
Misses. McCall with the rebound. McCall was fouled as he came back down, and he wants a sub.
I think
Bimbo's going to check into the game.
Let me tell you, when you work hard defensively like these kids are now, you get tired quick, and that's okay to come out, take a blow.
Bimbo will be the trigger man. Jay, last time West was in this situation, they got a 5-second count. Let's see if the movement's better this time. Metters made a great cut, just couldn't quite corral the pass. Walk, he traveled. Yep, feet shuffled after a defender went flying by. How about Bimbo there? He was the trigger man, Jay, and he was the first guy back for West Brunswick defensively.
Absolutely. I like his hustle, and he's got a 3 tonight to help things.
Yep.
But yeah, Bimbo is he's a player.
Tough kid too, Jay. They like what he might offer the football team the next couple years.
Nice kick. You
There's
got to make it. Oh, come on.
Bimbo nearly got in there and stole an offensive rebound, but boy, Jay,
that's what you
that's
want.
One of those that the Trojans have to knock down right now.
They will. Eventually,
yep,
they'll
fall.
But that's the shots you want.
Good pass in from Maury Brown to number 14, Blake Whitehouse, whose floater.
West needs to be careful, Sam. Careful not to let that, the lead was down to 4. Right now it's 6. Not a lot of time left in the second quarter.
Yep, a bucket here, and all of a sudden Ashley's, flirting with a 10-point lead. Foul on the floor. That was Ashley's number 40, Trayvon Dowdy, who was fouled. Ian King, Tavion King, Bimbo, Ethan Hewitt, Cole Hamilton on the floor for the Trojans. Is Dowdy, 34, Jacob Brooks, Widenhouse, 32, Trent Smith, and 22, Malachi Chapman on the floor for the Screaming Eagles. 35 seconds before halftime.
Yeah, Ashley would be well served to take this down to the last shot, but with this aggressive defense, not an easy thing to do.
West could use another one of those Tavion King steals and transition layups here to pull back within 4. Oh, ball knocked around. Malachi Chapman comes up with it. Oh, a good drive and kick, baseline jumper up and in, and that's going to expire the first half clock as Ethan Hewitt's desperation heave is off the mark. Who do we have on that last bucket there,
That was
partner?
Trent Smith, 32, a sophomore.
So
with his
Trent Smith
first bucket of the game.
up and in, and Jay, the last 4 points of the first half scored by Ashley, which is significant. There was a 4-point game, and Ashley doubled its lead there in the final minute and a half of the first half. So after 16 minutes of game action, it's the Ashley Screaming Eagles 22 and the much more competitive West Brunswick Trojans 14 on ATMC TV. Welcome back to ATMC TV for the start of the second half. West Brunswick trails Ashley by 8. Oh, Abel Urasek turns it over. He was the trigger man, couldn't find anybody open. Oh, a good job from Pocknet to number 10, Blake Lewis. Jay Lewis came into the game averaging 4 a game. He's got 9 to lead all scorers. And Jay, just like that, after such a well-played first half by West Brunswick, the Trojans are down by 10.
Yeah, you know, they sort of took advantage of Pocknet being out of the game there in the second quarter, and then in the last minute or minute and a half, they let it slip away, and now you got arrested Pocknet, and you see what he can do, already making a difference in the game. West has just got to be patient here and work for a good shot.
That's it. Oh, man, Jay, it was dead on line. Just a little bit short. That's about the third three-point attempt tonight that's looked good for the Trojans, but they couldn't get it to fall. So Ashley with the ball, up by 10. Conway, corner 3, no good. Boy, Ethan Hewitt, what a job he's done on the glass. And, boy, did they just steal a cheap one against Pocknet?
Yeah, I think they did.
No, it was called on 5.
Oh, okay.
Damel Miguel.
Either way.
Jay, that's one of those where if you're Pocknet's teammate and you're right there together, you raise your hand real quick. Say, that was on me. That was on me.
I'm taking one for the team, right?
It was so funny. The big guys from North Carolina in the late 90s, if Antoine Jameson was in the same zip code, they were all raising their hands real fast like, that was on me, not Jameson. Oh, a good move by Ethan Hewitt. I tell you, Jay, this is the most I've ever seen this young man assert himself in a high school basketball game. Best all-around game I've ever seen him play, and I'm not even sure if he scored yet.
He hasn't. That's what I was getting ready to say, and we talked about this last week, that Ethan can help you out in so many ways and not even score any points, and that's been the case here tonight. It sure would help if he could start lighting it up a little bit from the outside. That free throw's got to help.
And, Jay, he's a good shooter. I mean, it's not like he's scoreless and he just has no offensive capabilities. This young man, since he was a sophomore, he's been renowned for his shooting ability.
He has 4 3-point shots on the season and has a good-looking stroke from the free throw line. Only made 1 of 2, but, yeah, he can be an important player and will be an important player for the West Brunswick this year.
Split a pair there, so West Brunswick back within single digits, though, Jay.
That hurt if it goes in, and it does. Who got the tap, Sam? I couldn't
Number
see.
14, Blake Widenhouse. Second offensive rebound by Ashley on the possession, and Widenhouse's putback is up and in. Jay, that's the importance of putting a butt on him and boxing out. You just can't go jump up to get rebounds. You got to find a body, push him out of the way, and grab it. McCall with a strong, aggressive drive. He was fouled, and the sophomore guard will go to the charity stripe for 2.
So I guess Cobb and McCall are kind of sort of interchangeable a little bit. They play kind of a similar type game in that they like to drive to the basket and they're more than willing to kick it. Call makes his first.
Jay, truthfully, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Cobb since about the 5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Yeah,
McCall's done fine in his absence, but you know, against Laney, we saw the two of them play together a lot. You've got 2 of your better offensive weapons sharing the court. But we'll see if we see Cobb in the second half, and if so, when. West Brunswick back to within 9 at 26-17. Still very much a game as Urasek battling in there with Widenhouse, but Pocknet gets loose for a layup. And, Jay, only his second bucket. West has done a really nice job containing the Screaming Eagles' leading scorer.
Yeah, they have. That's the good news, but the bad news is they're down 11.
Right.
And you would think if they were able to hold Pocknet to what he has 5 points, the lead would be not 11. Nice. Get in. Can't. Just can't make a bucket, Sam.
Uh-oh.
This will be a
Rim
bucket.
rocker.
This will be a bucket.
Boom. Mikhail Pocknet with back-to-back buckets, the second of the emphatic variety. And Cole Hamilton dribbles it off his leg and out of bounds, and the lead is 13, Jay.
I thought we might see that. West Brunswick with maybe an effort here early in the third to try to stem the tide and at least stay within striking distance. 13 not insurmountable, but you look up, you're down 20-22, then the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, and again, this is I think a tough. West isn't going to play from behind very well, right? Because they at least this evening have not been able to shoot the ball particularly well from the outside, and of course, one would argue in their first 2 games this year, only averaging 34 points a game, they're not shooting all that well. So yeah, you don't want to dig too deep of a hole because there's only so many possessions that you're going to get in the amount of time that's up there to play. Certainly, I'll tell you what, Mikhail Pocknet was tired in the second quarter, and you could see it on his face and in his body, his mannerisms, and Coach Gullidge did a good job getting him out. And obviously that little break in the halftime rejuvenated him because he's come out here with a couple of buckets in the third quarter and starting to be dominant inside.
Ashley much more prepared for West Brunswick's scramble that time, partner, as Lewis anticipated it and got ahead out of trouble. Ethan Hewitt whistled for a foul, and Maury Brown will shoot a pair of free throws. And you heard Coach Aaron Taylor say Ethan got a slide and cut off that baseline. I'm definitely no basketball guru, not real good with my basketball X's and O's, but I do remember you never want them to go baseline, right? Just like in football, you want to feed everything back inside.
One of those cardinal rules is you put your foot on that baseline and you make them run over you. And don't let them get around you, and that time Ethan did.
And why else is that important, Jay? Because your help defense is back toward the middle. Cobb had a good look, good idea, just couldn't get it to Ethan Hewitt. Brown missed the layup, but guess who's there for the putback? Mikhail Pocknet. And Jay, all of a sudden, he's got 9, tied for a game high with Blake Lewis.
Sam, I was talking about West being careful in the last minute or two of that second quarter, only trailing 4.
Speaking of effort and energy, this is the best I've seen from Ashley in those regards, this opening 3.5 minutes of the third.
Yeah, they're moving much better. They left. It took a while for them to get warmed up off the bus. And what's the call, Sam?
A charge.
Tough night for J.J. Cobb, and he's going to take a rest. And under the game, number 10,
Darian Bimbo,
who gave him a little bit of a lift in the first half. Maybe he can do it again.
And Rodriguez checked into the game as well for West. So it's King, Hewitt, Urasek, Rodriguez, and Bimbo for West. Brown, Conway, Widenhouse, Pocknet, and Lewis for the Screaming Eagles.
Yeah, you like to try to find a way for West to get Rodriguez a couple open looks at the basket, right?
Yep,
He can shoot.
no doubt. Errant pass from Lewis all the way across the court to Maury Brown, and Brown couldn't secure it. All right, Jay, let's go for our nightly third quarter shoe roundup. What do you see out there that you like in the sneaker department?
Oh, wow. We got some good shoes tonight, that's for sure. Let me look a little closer.
Oh, Bimbo got caught in between a pass and a shot. Throws it up off the glass and in, and he's got 5 for the Trojans here tonight.
I gave him a lift in the second quarter. Maybe he can get him going here again in the third quarter.
Check out the Urasek sneakers.
Well,
the saucy McDonald's logo.
Yeah, they look good, and right now I think he'd be in the lead. Now, I'll tell you what, Rodriguez looks good when you see under the pad. See there, what's going on down there in the sole?
Well, they're on the laces too a little bit.
Yeah.
And Jay, I also found out about Urasek's. They're Damian Lillard Adidas's.
Ooh, he picked a good one, didn't he?
8 in the third quarter for Pocknet, 11 for the game, and he's just 2 points shy of his season average after being held to just 3 points in the first half.
Yeah, he looks like a different player here in the third quarter.
Ian King with a strong drive to the basket. And a foul called on Mikhail Pocknet. Boy, Jay, he looked like a
a volleyball player, and the ball was set up for him, and he was going for the spike there on King's shot attempt. Now, he was whistled for a foul, and King will shoot 2 free throws after the official timeout, but, man, he can get up there.
And he has great timing. And
he does.
That one really looked clean. He must have got him with the body. So, yeah, he's Pocknet's having a big third quarter with 8 points, and all of a sudden the visitors have jumped out to a 17-point lead with 2:53 to go here in the third quarter at West Brunswick. For those of you at home who are interested, second quarter begins at Broad Run High School up in Herndon, Virginia, with Tuscarora holding a 16-5 lead.
The question is, who's not interested?
Gabriella Nemus, who is one heck of a basketball player as a freshman at Tuscarora, and of course happens to be my granddaughter, is doing pretty well here in her first varsity ever. They brought her up from the JV, so hopefully she's having a good time and her team's doing real well.
And Jay, I think I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I feel like I can speak for both of us and say family over everything.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep tabs on our family and our family members and what they're doing in their respective sports and activities always.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'll be giving T-ball updates this spring football season.
Let me tell you, absent COVID, I got it. I may have some grandfather decisions to make, right? Do the game for ATMC or go see my grandchildren play. But King converts the first. And 2 for 2. That helps.
In the second. He's got 4. And West within 15. Jay, not all is lost here. There's 2:52 left in the third quarter. And West has just got to prevent some easy buckets like the one Blake Widenhouse just got. Boy, was Ashley prepared for that full court press or what?
Yeah, they were. And credit them, right? I mean, the other team gives scholarships too, right? That's what Lou Holtz used to say. And Ashley played that one really well.
Dante Clark had a good look at it, but couldn't corral it. Block shot by Ethan Hewitt. Yet another way he's impacted this game here tonight. Boy, that's a trip.
Has to be something. Has to be something.
Foul called against Maury Brown. It'll be West Brunswick basketball. Trojans down 38-21 with 2:10 left in the third quarter. Jay, I'm not sure Rodriguez even has a field goal attempt tonight. Clark will put it up. Oh, it is all the way down and out. He's going to fire it up again. That one no good. Pocknet plays volleyball with himself and grabs the defensive board. Oh, good pass. Oh, no, a little low and couldn't be handled by Widenhouse. Well, Jay, he just stood up with it. I thought they were going to get him for a traveling violation, but instead I think they're going to get number 22, Ian King, with a foul. Jordan McCall checking back into the game, and he'll come in for Rodriguez, who just hadn't been able to get it going tonight for the Trojans.
Yeah, that was the right idea in terms of a pass by Pocknet. It wasn't very well executed, but he was thinking right.
Ethan Hewitt again. Oh, I thought he came up with a steal, but he tipped it out of bounds there. It'll be Ashley basketball.
It was kind of a lazy pass that time by Pocknet, yeah, and Screaming Eagles lucky to maintain possession.
Gee whiz, what an athlete that kid is. Boy, he's something special. 10 points in the third quarter alone, 13 for the game, right on his season average of 13.3 a game.
Yeah, they list him at 6'4", and I think he's one of those kids that, maybe he plays a little bigger than 6'4", and it's especially noticeable against the West Brunswick team that has some height problems. Nice try by Bimbo.
Gary and Bimbo has come off the bench and made quite an impact tonight. He's got a season high of 7 points. And, Jay, I'm not sure he had scored before tonight.
If he hadn't scored a point that I could find. Boom.
Bingo, Jalen Conway from the corner. His first trifecta. He's got 5. Offensive explosion
in the third quarter, 21 points. Ethan Hewitt's three again, Jay, right on the mark, just a little too strong. Maury Brown with the carom for Ashley. McCall with the steal. Oh, watch Pocknet chasing, partner. Oh, and a smart move by Jordan McCall using that shot blocking prowess against him. Pocknet flies by. McCall lays it in to pull West within 18.
Don't you think McCall plays like an old man sometimes? You know?
Yeah, he definitely plays below the rim.
Yeah, he got that rocking chair shot from the outside.
I mean, have you seen? That was an old YMCA trick.
Yeah,
Wait till the guy fly by
yeah.
you and then lay it in.
But it was a smart play and well executed, and Pocknet again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points in the third quarter from Mikhail Pocknet.
15 for the game. Ethan Hewitt's three-point attempt, no good to end the third quarter. And West Brunswick, after Pocknet's putback, finds itself down by 20 entering the fourth. Ashley 45, West Brunswick 25. A quick reset. Pocknet has 15 for the game. Number 10, Blake Lewis has 9. 6 for Blake Widenhouse, 5 for Jalen Conway, 6 for Maury Brown. For West Brunswick, J.J. Cobb has 2. Ethan Hewitt has 1 point. 2 for Tavion King, 4 for Savion Metters, 7 from backup guard Darian Bimbo, 5 for Jordan McCall, and 4 for Ian King. Jay, what's the plan if you're head coach Aaron Taylor and the West Brunswick Trojans?
Well,
Entering the fourth, I mean.
I'll tell you, well, see, this is where we have said a couple of times during the game, this is not a team that is real good at coming from behind, and it was kind of crucial that they would keep the game within a main, a manageable distance. And they did that for a long period of time, but they lost it in the last couple of minutes of the second quarter, and then they just got blown out here in the third quarter, being outscored 23-11. So, Sam, I tell you what, they just got to make sure that they get as much as they can out of every possession and try to turn them over and try to get a couple of, quick, some 3-point shots would help them. I think they've made 1 3-point shot tonight.
Yeah, Bimbo from the corner.
Although they've had a number of 3-point shots that looked right on. I mean, and just, one of those nights where they're not falling the Trojans' way, but see what they can do in this first 4 minutes to get this thing down and then, take a run at them.
And Jay, as much as West Brunswick has struggled offensively through 2 games, from beyond the arc was not one of them.
No.
I mean, you have 10 made threes listed on our score sheet tonight between McCall, Ethan Hewitt, and Savion Metters. So they'd at least made 10 threes through 2 games. That's 5 a game. That's a good number.
Exactly, but not tonight. Good pass inside. Just don't finish, and there's a break, and they lose it off the foot.
J.J. Cobb had a nice rebound, got down there and mixed it up, but I think it was either lost it or it was knocked off of him, off his knee and out of bounds.
I think they want to get this to Pocknet somehow.
I would say so.
Wow.
Foul called against West Brunswick, 4th team foul, so neither team in the bonus. I tell you, Jay, this has been a game largely free of whistles. Neither team made the bonus in the first half, and we're still not there in the second.
That's a good observation, and so fouling has not been much of a problem in the game.
Somebody knock on wood from the comfort of your living room. Oh, Conway's loose. Oh, boy, that one missed everything. Ian King chases down the bullet rebound. Bimbo trying to get into double figures. A little strong rebound by Lewis, who did a good job blocking out Ian King.
Yeah, King did a nice job trying to back tap it, but was a good box out. Ashley could probably maybe take a little of the pace off here, right?
Off of Pocknet and out of bounds. Yeah, Jay, if you're Ashley at this point, if you just waste 30 seconds, even if you don't score, that's a win.
That's exactly right, yeah. And so they could probably be well advised to be a little more clock aware, I guess, with 7:07 to go here and the clock's not moving, but it is now. West, on the other hand, needs to work for a decent shot, but can't wait too long.
Tavion King with a good offensive rebound. Ian King stepped into that one, just missed off to the left. So 2 more 3-point attempts don't fall for West Brunswick, and 6:40 left in the game. Ashley leads by 20. Neither team has scored here in the fourth and final frame. I believe one team's about to. Oh, no. Jordan McCall comes up with a steal. Here comes Cobb. He's just going to attack like he does. Layup up and in, but foul called on the floor, and West still not in the bonus. Only the 16th foul on the Screaming Eags.
No free throw shooting because it was before the shot.
On the floor, on the floor.
On the floor, as my partner said.
Oh, boy.
One dribble too many.
Maury Brown saves it before it goes out of bounds, and some nifty dribbling there to stay away from McCall. Jay, I tell you, he's a nice player, Maury Brown.
Yeah, he is. And Jalen Conway hits another three.
Jay, I don't know if there's such a thing in a 20-point game, but that may have been the final of the nail in West Brunswick's coffin. You know, 20-point game, and he makes a three there. Jordan McCall with a good drive, got a good look, just could not get it to fall. Oh. Layup up and in from Domil McGill. He's got 4. Ashley on a 5-0 burst to start the fourth quarter. The lead is 25.
And Ashley, a team that came into tonight averaging 35, and they've got 50.
Savion Meters from beyond the arc, a corner three. He's got 7 points, and the Trojans back to within 22. It's 50-28. Jay, go ahead, partner.
Well, no, you were talking about this kid here, Maury Brown, right?
Yes.
He probably gets a little hidden at Ashley because of Pocknet, but Maury Brown can play on a lot of teams in the Mid-East Conference.
Yeah, I'm thinking every one of them. And Jay, we said this during the girls' game, talked about it briefly there in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard shows Ashley now 51-28, could be 52 if Brown makes his second free throw. But overall, don't you just feel like the Trojans are much more engaged here tonight?
Oh, yeah, I do. They just kind of picked a not a good night to
go stone cold.
Yeah, go stone cold and wasted a good, like 14 minutes of pretty good play in the first half by letting it slip away from them those last couple of minutes. And then the third period, all Ashley.
Yep, Jay, great points all the way around. Metters again. This one misses everything. King saved it, but it hit the bottom of the backboard after Ashley touched it. So King's effort will pay off here and save West a possession. And Jay, tonight wasn't a case of just Ashley coming up with a bunch of steals and scoring easy buckets in transition. It was more tonight about missed shots. You know, I thought West was very deliberate, methodical, patient, thought they moved the ball well. They just couldn't get anything to fall, whereas last Friday night it was just turnover after turnover after turnover.
And that's improvement, right? I mean, when you can't get the ball up the court and get off a good shot versus you're able to move the ball up the court and end up with a makeable shot. And defensively, again, particularly at the beginning, they really exerted themselves, and it was helping them, but they just kind of hit the wall there. Those shots that you're talking about that just wouldn't fall. If a couple of them had, that could have made all the difference in the world.
I tell you, Ian King made all 4 of his free throw attempts tonight. He's got 6 for the game, and that's off of Pocknet's foot and out of bounds. So West basketball, Jay, I tell you, the effort certainly hasn't let up here as the deficit grew. West Brunswick still getting after it on the defensive end.
Oh, and the bench is still engaged, and so the kids are out working hard.
Jay, I'm completely shielded here by one of the area's finest referees, so you might have to take over play-by-play for a brief time.
We get a pick set on us every now and then, don't we?
Oh, a good skip pass all the way from Metters to Cobb, and Cobb was poked in the eye, and now Cobb will go to the line for a 1-and-1, as that is the 7th or 8th team foul whistled against the Screaming Eagles. I believe that's the 8th. The foul on Ian King, the shooting foul, was the 7th team foul.
West did a pretty good job that time of moving the ball from one side to the other against that zone, but they were 25 feet away from the basket. You got to get a little closer. At some point, you got to begin to advance the ball a little bit towards the bucket to make those that movement count.
Yeah, I tell you, one thing West has done well tonight, shoot free throws. That's 8 of 10 as a team from the charity stripe.
And that's important.
9 of 11.
We have seen some West teams over the years that free throw shooting was not their specialty.
Excuse me, 10 of 12 as a team. 10 out of 12 from the charity stripe. Traveling violation against Ashley.
And
so West ball.
Credit West that time, down 20 points, Sam, and hustled back. Hustled back on defense, and it paid off. They're running this weave, but see how far away from the basket they are, Sam. They're beyond the three-point line by some distance. Ashley did a good job of not letting them penetrate.
Oh. Cobb wrestling puck net, and number 20 Conway comes away with it.
Tell you what, that kid, he don't quit. He's got some spring.
Never going to.
Got some spring. Nice catch. Boy, that was a nice catch by Pocknet.
Sure was. And the foul on the floor there probably saved the Trojans from Ashley adding 2 points to its total. We're going to have our first COVID timeout of the fourth quarter. There is, for anyone who missed last week and are wondering about these, every quarter with the players wearing masks and the virus, making its way across the country in our state, North Carolina High School Athletic Association in basketball is having one official timeout per quarter. It's 1 minute in length. No timeouts charged to either team. It's literally an official's timeout. And, Jay, I get the sense you like it. You think it was a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good rule, and certainly, trying to adapt to these COVID, related times and conditions that we have, giving the kids a little break every 4 minutes in the quarter makes a whole lot of sense.
Just like a media timeout in college basketball and NBA timeout. I growing up, I called them TV timeouts.
TV timeouts, yeah.
In college, they're after the 16-minute mark, 12-minute mark, 8 and 4. NBA, I gave up figuring that out. I think there's one after 9 and 3.
I used to work games up in Maryland, and it was predominantly high school games, and then we started doing some college games. And one of the changes was the TV timeouts that we weren't used to taking.
Yeah.
From
Jay's
high
like,
school.
where are the players going?
Stop, wait.
Jay, I'll tell you what, when I was at East Carolina, we had TV games. There would be an official that wore a red hat.
Yep.
And as long as he was standing on the field, there was no game to be played. That meant, hey, we still got commercials playing on TV.
Yeah.
Y'all wait.
And they're paying for things, so, let that
exactly
happen.
Right. Exactly right, partner. Ian King was fouled. I don't know if it was on the floor. Nope, it's going to be a 1-and-1. And the way this kid shot free throws, he could knock in a pair and have 8 points for the night. But it will be a 1-and-1. West Brunswick down 20. 3:47 left in the game.
Now, Ian's one of those JV kids from last year.
He
Sam?
is indeed.
Well, he's got a pretty good stroke, particularly from that free throw line.
He does. And, Jay, I think a lot of this kid. And then one day I saw him wearing a Duke shirt. I'll still root for him.
Well, that's okay.
No, it's really
It's not okay.
No, he seems to be a great kid. And I tell you what, he's played his little tail off here tonight for the Trojans. Look at him chasing Dowdy down the floor. And that's the 7th team foul against West. And number 40 for Ashley will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Yeah, Sam, when Darius and I first moved here, 16, 17 years ago, and my observation about college sports was simply this: you were either a North Carolina fan or a North Carolina State fan. Everybody hated Duke, and nobody cared about Wake Forest.
You nailed it.
I think that's pretty much the way it is.
Yeah, you nailed it. And funny you should say that. And I knew all those things growing up, so I guess who I choose to pull for? Wake Forest. As a child, I was a Wake Forest fan.
Demon Deacons, huh?
And then I've always had a special place for the Tar Heels, as my paternal grandfather was the biggest Carolina fan you could ever meet.
could not get that shot to fall.
It was halfway down.
Everything but through the basket, you know. Oh, Ashley was going one way and should have been the other.
Ian King was just set to come back into the game, didn't know who he was going to sub for. He went back to the bench. See, a Tar Heel fan would have known. I'm just kidding. Hey, really, in all seriousness, he is a fine kid, Ian King, and has had a great game here tonight, 8 points.
Yeah, offensively, he's been maybe their strongest player, and a lot of those shots are points from the free throw line.
Oh, a good pass from Cole Hamilton to Abel Urasek, who lays it up and in for 2.
Nice effort that time by Cole, and a nice catch and a deuce for Urasek.
That's my cousin. Kind of.
Kind.
By marriage.
Still counts.
Talk about a great kid, Jay. I don't know too many better than young number 21, Abel Urasek.
But what about his brother? Not so much.
Nah, he's a great one too. I'll claim him too any day of the week.
You know, he was quick.
He was.
He was quick. He played, last year for West, and boy, he could get up and down the court.
And what Abel doesn't have, as far as Isaiah's quickness, Isaiah didn't have Abel's girth, size. Abel probably going to see some time on the gridiron for the Trojans.
Is he really?
On the line or at tight end. He was an effective JV tight end last year.
Tell you what, he kind of looks like a football player.
Thick.
Got that, what's that quarterback's name at Clemson?
Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, Abel's got that Trevor Lawrence hair. Maybe
he's
a quarterback
for the Jaguars?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, that one.
Made free throw there.
Heads up, Sam.
There's the quarterback pass.
See, I told you. Sam, I can't remember. Does Ethan Hewitt play football?
Negative. But from what I've seen tonight, his effort on the glass and blocking shots and coming up with steals, he certainly could.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, I think now the Trojans are going to be shooting 2 free throws.
Well, it's the one thing they have done pretty well tonight. I've got them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 7 here in the fourth quarter.
I think 13 of 15 as a team.
There you
Make
go.
that 14 of 16. 8 of 8 in the fourth quarter.
See him get a little run here and make this at least a little more respectable for the papers, huh?
Yep, 14 for 16 as a team. And Jay, it's a 16-point game. Good defensive rotation by Cole Hamilton. Draws a charge. And tell you, the Trojans have been much, much, much improved from last week.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose 80-34. There's really one way to go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, folks, if you've watched both games, you see it for yourself. This was a much better effort.
Yeah, couldn't see that game Tuesday evening against South. They lost by 10. But they've been competitive. There you
and
go.
Here come the
Finally.
long-distance shots. And, Jay, it might be worth now maybe getting into a little trap or press of some sort.
Or maybe putting Ashley on the line, make some free throws, stretch it out.
At least a couple trips. I mean, it's a 13-point game with a minute and a half. Much stranger things have happened, like this. There you go, tie him up. Ashley wisely just passing the ball around. I'm not sure I'd be taking any shot attempts. He's fun to watch with the ball in his hands.
Sure is.
Boy, West has got to have a little sense of urgency here. And Jay, any chance, outside chance they might have might just went by the wayside with that turnover, but it would have been taken a lot anyway. But it's 54-41, Screaming Eagles. Jay, definitely worth noting though that West has eclipsed its its season average of 34 points per game. So things moving up, and the effort from the free throw line has got to be something Coach Taylor's pleased with.
Well,
West has got to push it.
And they've shaved, some points off a number of points that they've been giving up a game too. So.
You just got to fire some up eventually. Ethan Hewitt will.
Well,
he's a senior. And lost it. Dowdy was fouled on the layup attempt and will go to the line for 2.
Sam, would it be fair, reasonable, perhaps, to say that at least 4 of those 3-point shots during the course of this game maybe could have gone in that didn't go in? And if they had, we'd have a 1-point game.
I agree. I would also argue, though, that Ashley had some looks that it probably could make 2.
Yeah, that's true, too. But
that you'd have to sprinkle in there. But, Jay, I mean, again, it wasn't like West Brunswick was turning the ball over possession after possession tonight. They moved the ball well, set screens, made some nice cuts, got some offensive rebounds, just could not get anything to fall really here into the fourth quarter.
Well, helps a little bit in the fourth quarter with Pocknett not playing a whole lot.
Ethan Hewitt's got 11 now for West Brunswick. And, Jay, if I'm not mistaken, 9 of those have come in the fourth quarter. Oh, West still trapping, Jay.
That's offensive.
Going to be a charge against number 34, Jacob Brooks. And 2 charges taken by Cole Hamilton in the last 2 minutes of this game. So 3 seconds left. Ashley 55, West 43. Ethan Hewitt's going to take a half-court shot at the buzzer. Oh, he didn't get it off, partner. Swished it, but it will not count. Oddly enough, had it counted, it would have been a 9-point finish. What if that would have covered the spread?
Oddly enough, I don't know what the spread was, but, it's not going to matter tonight as the home team, West Brunswick, falls to the visitors from Ashley by a score of 55-43. Pocknett 15 leading the way for Ashley and Sam.
Ethan Hewitt's 11.
He's got 11, okay.
Ian King had 8. 6 of 6 from the free throw line. West Brunswick outscored Ashley 18-10 in the final frame, but it was not enough as Ashley used a spurt the last couple minutes of the second quarter and much of the third to run away from the Trojans. West Brunswick falls to 0-3 in Mid-Eastern Conference play. That's 0-3 overall, while Ashley records its first win of the season after 2 losses to New Hanover and a loss to Laney. Ashley in the win column after a 55-43 victory over the Trojans. For Jay Combs, Aaron Farnham, Nate Evers, I'm Sam Higman. We will see you next time right here on ATMC TV's coverage of local high school basketball. Good night from Shallotte.